The human world, the boundaries of land, and even heaven, once the absolute bedrock of reality, holding everything in perfect balance, are now on the brink of total annihilation as a terrifying dark power closes in, ready to shatter every single realm. The heavenly path is broken, meaning the entire world is doomed, all 4 realms are about to be wiped out, and the only way to save everything is to somehow find and fix the heavenly path. As the heavenly path guardians, their sacred duty is to protect this world, so they have to dive in, knowing that anyone who steps into the ordinary realm gets instant rewards, even if it costs them everything. With absolute determination, the glowing guardians gather, locked and loaded for their insane mission. Locking onto their objective, they unleash their energy, ready to drop in. Air Lang Shen and Xiao Tian explode with purple and red energy, unleashing their full power in a defiant roar. Their combined might radiates outward. Air Lang Shen screams, "No retreat. Better to die than live in humiliation," as Xiao Tian lets out a guttural roar. A profound sensation washes over him, his eyes burning with an intense, almost shocked realization of the sheer power he's unleashing. The Guardians' unleashed energy forms a colossal, swirling vortex of lightning and raw power, a testament to their unimaginable strength. "Let's enjoy this together," he shouts. But their might is met by an even greater, more sinister force, as a massive, shadowy entity with glowing purple eyes erupts, its dark tendrils instantly overwhelming their light. This is not good. The dark power is too powerful, a voice cries out. The Guardians' efforts are futile against this encroaching darkness, and a brilliant, glowing orb materializes, ready to transport them. "If we cannot protect it anymore, then there is no hope, we are truly defeated," a voice laments. Both Air Lang Shen and Xiao Tian are swiftly drawn into the orb, their forms blurring amidst swirling light as they begin their descent into the unknown. As the light intensifies, Air Lang Shen reaches out, a final, desperate gesture before being fully enveloped by the luminous sphere. The orb then stabilizes, a concentrated point of light containing the Guardians, fulfilling a 1,000-year-old prophecy as they embark on their perilous mission. The journey has begun. A once mighty, glowing blade now hangs shattered, a brutal testament to the overwhelming power they just faced. "Defeat," a voice echoes, "is this really happening?" Air Lang Shen is paralyzed, unable to move a muscle, while Xiao Tian roars, "Air Lang Shen, I'm stuck." He then challenges, "How do we even begin to fight against defeat itself?" The Guardians are utterly ensnared, their powerful forms barely shimmering with residual energy. A steely determination ignites in Air Lang Shen's eyes, defying the crushing, oppressive aura that still surrounds them. Then, a commanding voice cuts through the tension, "Watch out. Something incredibly powerful is here." The Guardians snap their heads up, sensing a new, formidable presence. A colossal figure, draped in resplendent red and gold armor, a golden mask concealing his face, descends with an earth-shattering aura. Xiao Tian's eyes widen in awe, shouting, "Master Guan Yu." High above, a magnificent, multi-armed deity, blazing with golden light, materializes, its tranquil yet overwhelming presence a shining beacon amidst the turmoil. Both Air Lang Shen and Xiao Tian gaze upwards in profound reverence, as the beast folk declares, "Master Guan Yu. The heavenly heaven is saved because of you." Guan Yu, now standing beside Xiao Tian, scoffs at the previous spectacle, uttering, "Pffft. Just a bunch of parlor tricks. Allow me to demonstrate how it's truly done." Guan Yu, the legendary warrior, sizes up the devastation, seeing Air Lang Shen and Xiao Tian laid low, as Xiao Tian, barely conscious, screams internally about the sheer, overwhelming might of the heavenly heaven. Then, boom! A colossal golden explosion rips through reality, blasting everything apart as the sheer power makes someone scream, "Is he actually attacking us?" The air itself screams with power, as the multi-armed god's energy goes absolutely wild, a terrifying golden vortex forming around him. But Guan Yu isn't backing down. Facing the heavenly heaven's immense power, his eyes ignite with a furious red glow, and a massive purple aura explodes from him, ready to throw down. No hesitation. He rockets forward, a blinding blue energy blast slamming into the multi-armed god, who actually stumbles back from the sheer power of Guan Yu's heavenly law. Behold the heavenly heaven. This multi-armed, golden-armored god, a truly majestic and terrifying force, stands unyielding, radiating pure divine power. Down below, Xiao Tian lets out a furious roar, shouting at Guan Yu not to hold back or play around with this terrifying foe. Guan Yu, his legendary blade ready, stands his ground, declaring that no matter how much power the heavenly heaven wields, his glowing blue blade is going to meet it head-on, smashing into a shimmering golden energy shield with a thunderous impact, sending lightning bolts everywhere. Reeling from the last hit, heavenly heaven is sent spiraling, but a fierce roar rips from its throat. But from above, Guan Yu's legendary green dragon crescent blade comes crashing down, ready to deliver another devastating blow. The blade slams into heavenly heaven's golden energy shield, and it explodes into a shower of glittering shards. A blinding shockwave of golden energy blasts outwards, and the deity roars, a mix of pain and pure rage. The sheer power of the hit contorts its multi-armed body, energy going wild around its arm as it fights to hold on. Watching the chaos unfold, Xiao Tian's face is grim, as he shouts a warning about the enemy's insane strength. Then, Heavenly Heaven's body starts to twist, morphing into a grotesque, multi-limbed horror of dark energy, a truly terrifying glimpse into its real power. But even with all that damage, the deity speaks with chilling calm, talking about its body like it's just some disposable shell. Even as Guan Yu's relentless assault pushes it back, Heavenly Heaven demands to know the real reason for this insane attack. Heavenly Heaven's monstrous form is taking shape, radiating pure dark energy and crackling with menacing red lightning. Xiao Tian is locked on, his eyes burning with intensity. Then, a chilling voice booms out, taunting, "Do you really think you can escape?" But Xiao Tian isn't backing down, declaring that the chaos's true purpose is way beyond Heavenly Heaven's understanding. He presses on, a dire warning in his tone, "If you don't surrender, you're getting erased." Heavenly Heaven just laughs off the threat, boasting about devouring countless demons and gods, making its body an unbreakable vessel. The power level is off the charts, swirling with insane purple and blue energy, as it challenges, "What could possibly hurt me now?" Xiao Tian, remembering the ancient struggle, admits that Heavenly Heaven has been running wild for ages. Then, in a flash, Heavenly Heaven unleashes a gigantic fist of pure golden energy, blazing with electric blue lightning. Its voice thunders with ultimate power, a declaration of absolute supremacy. A mind-bending cosmic vortex pulsates with raw power, revealing an ultimate truth: to shatter the cycle of reincarnation, one must transcend, one must become a god. This isn't just about personal power, it's the only way to restore normalcy for everyone, and crucially, the only shot at saving Xiao Tian. Because the gods are destined to fall, this divine power-up is the last chance for the three worlds. The eye of heaven has seen the future, and it's all leading to this. As a blinding golden light erupts from the cosmic depths, the message is clear: you have to break the cycle of reincarnation to get back to the normal world. But wait, there's more. You also need to find the one person who can finally end the wars across all three worlds. To be continued. Bei Ming just goes all out, unleashing a massive wave of brilliant blue energy, ready to risk everything. With his eyes burning with determination, he's not doing this for himself, but for the one person who means everything. Pure power just explodes around him. A clear sign of his insane new strength, as he shouts he's not alone anymore. He's holding his ground in the raging water, protecting a bunch of scared people, and he's screaming at whatever's out there. Suddenly, a red-haired girl charges in, totally freaking out, asking if he's okay, but he just brushes it off, telling her to get out of there. She just nods, totally getting it, as Bei Ming quickly explains that things went sideways, and he'll spill the details later. He stands alone, a silent sentinel, as the dust, or rather, the water, settles from the recent, insane chaos. But in the pool, a red-haired girl, clearly shaken, demands to know what just went down, as two other guys freak out, confessing they thought their lives were over. The red-haired girl, still reeling, can only murmur her lingering terror. He walks up to the pool's edge, and the red-haired girl immediately locks eyes with him, her worry now solely for his safety, demanding if he's okay. He coolly tells Xiao Yu he's totally fine and there's nothing to worry about, but she's not letting it go, demanding answers about the insane incident. His face set with determination, he simply states he'll spill the details later. His mind already on the next move, he announces he's off to hit the court. He pivots, leaving the stunned group behind, and just walks away, leaving them to process his cryptic exit. Basketball in hand, he's already moving on, leaving everyone else totally bewildered. He's just walking, but in his head, a voice is screaming, "Stop. Don't you dare go to school, you trash. You can't beat me, right?" But he just shrugs it off, bending down, scooping up a basketball like it's nothing. A quick bounce of the ball, and a cool "later" is all he offers to the challenge. That same voice tries again, "Stop. Don't you dare go to school, you trash. You can't beat me, right?" But he just stares ahead, completely unfazed. Then, out of nowhere, he sees someone he knows, and it's like, Lin Ku. Lin Ku, looking super serious, cuts right to it, asking, "What did you find?" And Bei Ming's just like, "You mean the thing that happened last night?" Bei Ming just keeps dribbling, weaving past him, and Lin Ku's like, "Yep, that's the one." But then they just switch gears, playing basketball and joking around, with Lin Ku calling him out, "Dude, you're always late for class," and Bei Ming's smooth comeback, "Nah, I'm not late. I'm just not early." Lin Ku, with that classic, seriously, look, just has to ask, "So, what are you even doing here?" After what feels like an eternity, Bei Ming's eyes finally snap open. He's been out cold, and the first thought hitting him is just how long he's been gone. He's finally awake, but the world isn't waiting. Stepping out into a downpour, the sky itself seems to rumble with his return. But his solitude is shattered as he nears a building, a sharp voice cutting through the storm, demanding to know what took him so long. Someone's been waiting. It's none other than Xiao Yu, and she's clearly not thrilled. And he can only offer a lame excuse, muttering about oversleeping, a classic move she immediately calls him out on. She lets out an exasperated sigh, wondering aloud why he even bothered to come if he was just going to be late again. Walking through the crowded campus, Xiaoyu keeps up the playful jabs about his legendary lateness, but he just shrugs it off, telling her he's here now, and that's what matters. Their banter continues, punctuated by another distant rumble of thunder, as she playfully reminds him that some things never change. They merge into the flow of students, their easygoing dynamic a familiar sight amidst the stormy backdrop. Rain poured down, but nothing could stop him from walking with Xiaoyu, sharing that umbrella like it was their own little world. Then, her voice, sharp and playful, pierced the calm. 8 o'clock, you said. It's 9:30, she exclaimed, and he could only mumble an apology about oversleeping, just as some random dude in the background started yelling, "Yo! You little punk! You seriously gonna ignore me?" Xiaoyu kept that annoyed but fond look, and he just stared at the ground, taking the verbal beating like a champ. But inside, something was seriously going down. His eyes flared with a terrifying red glow as his mind was bombarded. Mythic beast influence. Combine quantity/quality. Dismember. What you're gaining is you living. The mythical beast of mythical beasts mythical. Mythic beast. Mana flow. You're gained. Lin Ku hits Bei Ming with the big question, is he actually going to the Heavenly Heaven competition this year? He's not letting it go, pushing Bei Ming, asking if he's forgotten, or worse, if he's just given up on everything. Lin could drop some serious names, reminding him that even legends like Lang Shen and Xiao Tian are in the mix, making this competition absolutely massive. And if that wasn't enough, Master Guan Yu himself is showing up, with the winner taking the title of the world's strongest. Later, in solitude, Bei Ming's mind races back to the Heavenly Heaven competition, the brutal injuries that cost him his leg, and a burning vow to crush Lang Shen and take back what's his. Xiaoyu, ever the worried friend, checks in on him, but he just brushes it off, telling her he's totally fine. Fueled by pure grit, Bei Ming absolutely smashes a training target, his determination burning brighter with every single hit. He stands there, lost in thought, a silent storm brewing within him. Then, a sudden blue flash, and he snaps back, eyes wide, huh? What was that? But Xiaoyu, his friend, just can't get it. She looks at him, frustrated. Seriously, why are you so obsessed with that guy? He's not even worth your time. Her words just ignite something deeper. His fist tightens, a silent promise escaping his lips, I'll make him pay for what he did to me. His eyes flash a terrifying red, pure rage burning as he snarls, I'll make him regret it. Then, a brutal memory hits him, a dark figure, blade at Xiaoyu's throat, hissing, don't move, or I'll cut her. Even then, her voice, full of worry for him, cuts through the fear, he's not even worth your time. The thug's chilling threat repeats, a brutal echo of her danger, don't move, or I'll cut her. And again, her desperate plea, trying to pull him back from the edge, he's not even worth your time. Xiaoyu, leaning over a battered Bei Ming, unleashes a desperate, trembling plea. Reaching for his bleeding hand, she confesses she's always been the one protected, but now, she's ready to flip the script. Clutching a glowing knife, she makes a fierce declaration, let me protect you this time. Her words hit like a shockwave, and suddenly, Bei Ming's eyes blaze crimson, a raw, crackling yellow aura exploding around him. His hand now pulsing with light, he calls out her name, a silent, powerful promise burning in his eyes. But then, the scene shifts. Xiaoyu is lost in a swirling vision, trapped by the ghost of always being protected, a crushing weight against her new resolve. The brutal truth slams into her, she's too weak, utterly powerless to protect him. She cries out his name in pure agony, questioning her very right to exist, is she even worthy of life? A tearful apology escapes her, the crushing weight of her unworthiness settling deep within her soul. Her mind is racing, consumed by thoughts of Bei Ming, a crushing weight on her soul. Regret hits her like a tidal wave, and she can only choke out apologies for being so utterly useless. Tears stream down her face, the crushing reality that she can't protect him hitting hard. She feels so incredibly weak, a deep, gnawing inadequacy eating her alive. The apologies spill out again, a desperate plea for forgiveness for her own perceived failures. How could she possibly protect him, when she felt so completely powerless? The word screams in her mind, a relentless loop of self-blame. How could she ever hope to be his strength, when she couldn't even stand firm herself? Her final, desperate apology hangs heavy in the air, a raw testament to her profound despair. On the razor's edge of life and oblivion, a new hope descends from the heavens. Trapped in her own guilt, she's suddenly seized by a shadowy figure, who sneers, demanding to know why she's trying to escape without him, insisting she stay and play. Suddenly, an unknown force slams into Bei Ming, blue energy exploding around him as he's caught totally off guard. His head whipping back as he stares up, trying to figure out what just hit him. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu is absolutely horrified, her voice cracking with pure terror as she yells his name. Then, the real threat emerges, a massive, terrifying monster with blazing red eyes, unleashing a primal roar as it charges. Xiao Yu is just frozen, completely baffled, demanding to know what in the world is happening. Bei Ming fights back, trapped by glowing blue tendrils that are squeezing him tight, his thoughts screaming, who is this guy? But then, with an explosive surge of raw power, he unleashes a blinding blue energy blast, shattering the tendrils and blasting his attacker away. His body is already marked, but he's fighting back, trying to break free from the crushing grip. And with a crack, the monster's arm starts to rip apart, purple energy exploding from within. Then, it fully reveals itself, a terrifying, shadowy wolf beast, crackling with purple lightning and burning red eyes. The beast snarls, a chilling question ripping through the air, You. But Bei Ming stands his ground, surrounded by those wicked tendrils, and fires back, What are you? Then, his eyes ignite with a furious red glow, and he unleashes a devastating counter, shouting at the monster to stop its reckless rampage. Purple lightning and raw power explode from him, tearing through the air. His attack's sheer force unleashes searing, ribbon-like energy, ripping through the very ground and the monster's tendrils. And in a furious response, the monstrous wolf beast unleashes a deafening roar. He feels a sudden, cold grip, as a crimson tentacle lashes out and coils around his arm. His eyes flash a dangerous red, and arcs of purple lightning erupt around him in a startled burst. Nearby, a man in a black cap lets out a blood-curdling shriek, his hands going numb as the same sinister tendrils begin to consume him. The monstrous mass pulls him deeper into its core, its crimson appendages tightening their hold as he struggles against the overwhelming force. His voice rings with defiance, demanding answers from the encroaching darkness, while the terrified man, now half submerged, desperately cries out for his mother. The relentless tentacles continue their gruesome work, swallowing the screaming figure whole. A fierce anger ignites in Bei Ming's glowing red eyes, his purple lightning flaring as the writhing mass of tentacles completely engulfs its victim, leaving only a faint, desperate echo. Suddenly, a muscular figure armed with a spear appears, his gaze fixed on the chaotic scene, as Bei Ming stands resolute amidst the crackling energy, the tentacles having fully absorbed their prey. Bei Ming's resolve burns brighter, his red eyes and purple lightning a defiant beacon, while the crimson tendrils continue to churn, the consumed man now completely gone. With a terrifying, guttural roar, the monstrous entity fully reveals its horrifying form, a colossal mass of writhing red tentacles and a gaping, fanged maw. Purple lightning explodes around him, his eyes burning with a fierce red glow as a desperate cry echoes his name. The monstrous tendrils of the entity coil and strike, closing in on the terrified young woman, who can only let out a choked gasp as the nightmare unfolds. Her face twisted in pure, unadulterated terror, she screams his name once more, desperate to understand his terrifying transformation. But Bei Ming stands unyielding, his red eyes burning with fierce determination, a silent, powerful resolve radiating from him as purple energy crackles. The entity's crimson tendrils continue their gruesome rampage, devouring everything in their path, as another desperate cry for Bei Ming pierces the chaos. Then, the entity unleashes its full, terrifying form, a fanged maw and burning red eyes promising absolute annihilation. Amidst the explosions and energy blasts of the escalating battle, a new, muscular figure, spear in hand, watches the nightmare unfold, as a voice questions if this horrifying reality is just a dream. Suddenly, a memory bursts forth, a happier time when the young woman excitedly reminded Bei Ming of their shopping plans, asking where they were going, only for him to playfully tease he'd tell her later. The memory lingers, her confusion palpable as she questioned their presence at a temple, recalling their original plan to shop for her birthday present. He flashes back to a crucial moment, a voice echoing in his mind, she said, hit the bookstore, feast like a king. A tranquil Buddha statue materializes in his thoughts, and he realizes, you know what? It's definitely time for a feast. The statue seems to acknowledge him, a soft, dear student, resonating in his mind. His hands come together in a fervent plea, a desperate please, escaping his lips. The scene brightens to a clear sky, as the thought culminates, all right. Time to head back for that epic feast, with an enthusiastic yay. But the tranquility is violently ripped apart as crackling energy and booming impacts explode, a sudden, brutal assault tearing through the air. A colossal, monstrous claw rips through the maelstrom, its terrifying arrival announced by a deafening roar. The assault climaxes in a blinding, earth-shattering flash, a colossal explosion of raw power. Through the devastation, Bei Ming stares, his face a mask of utter disbelief and anguish, demanding answers. Why are you doing this to me? Was my sincerity not enough? I'm just a broke student craving a decent meal, why the hell are you putting me through this? He's reeling, utterly bewildered by the sudden, brutal assault. What even is this thing? But from the abyss, a single, blazing red eye snaps open, its voice booming, who are you even talking about? Then, the true horror unfolds. A colossal, crimson beast, radiating pure destructive energy, manifests, its power absolutely overwhelming. A golden glow erupts around him as he stares, utterly stunned, the monster's words echoing, and who even are you, anyway? The monster's eye burns brighter, its voice dripping with malice. You don't know my name. Because. Its colossal mouth rips open, a terrifying vortex of red energy swirling inside. You're about to be eaten. A crushing force rips at his hand, pulling him violently, and he screams. His face twists in pure terror and agony as he pleads, don't eat me. His arm stretches, distorts, as his desperate cry of, Wawa, is swallowed by the attack. He's staring at his hand, and it's glowing with weird marks. A jolt of recognition hits him. He's seen this before, but where? He sits up, looking totally freaked out, then touches his face, that same weird feeling hitting him again. But then, boom. A monstrous, glowing wolf with burning red eyes materializes, and he can only think, this has to be a dream. But it's not just a dream, the beast is right there, its giant paw chillingly on his shoulder. This isn't just a nightmare, it's a destined encounter that will literally rewrite the future of the three worlds. The monster lunges, tearing into him in this nightmare realm, and it's taunting him, demanding to know why he's so weak, yet the only one who can actually see it. Suddenly, a terrifying white-furred beast with blazing red eyes confronts Bei Ming, its voice booming, what do you want from me? Bei Ming, absolutely petrified, can only stammer, I don't want anything. His thoughts are a whirlwind of panic, unable to process this sudden nightmare, screaming internally, such a monster. Before he can even blink, the beast attacks. A crimson aura explodes from its claws as it slams into him, sending him flying. It roars again, I'm asking you, what do you want from me? Bei Ming, utterly crushed, can only choke out, I don't want anything. He's sent hurtling. The monster closes in, its terrifying presence suffocating him as Bei Ming screams, are you going to kill me? I don't want to die. He's down, beaten, every inch of him screaming in pain. The beast glares down, its fiery red eyes burning into his soul. Staggered and broken, he's pinned beneath the terrifying gaze of the monstrous entity, its crimson eyes burning into his very soul. What do you want? It roars, the question ripping through the air. The beast snarls, its face inches from his, I'll ask again. What do you want? Answer me, or I'll tear you to shreds. A chilling calm settles in its voice, your life means nothing to me. I just want to know what you desire. Terror-stricken, Bei Ming can only choke out, I don't want anything. His desperate plea ignites a furious red aura around the entity, magical chains erupting to bind him. Drawing a furious, disbelieving roar from the beast. What do you mean you don't want anything? It thunders, its voice a mix of rage and utter bewilderment. But Bei Ming, against all odds, weakly repeats, I don't want anything. The beast's eyes blaze with fury, raw power crackling around it as it screams, you dare. Chains of pure red energy still bind him, but the entity's voice booms, demanding answers, its frustration boiling over. The chains crackle, tightening around his chest with a malevolent red glow, as the entity screams its intent to take everything. Its hand glows with raw, red power, fueling the chains, as the entity rages, utterly baffled by Bei Ming's defiance. But then, a shockwave of red energy explodes from Bei Ming's core, and the entity lets out a bewildered cry. Bei Ming's face twists in agony, but the power keeps surging, leaving the entity utterly dumbfounded by this impossible reversal. Xiao Yu gasps, her hands flying to her mouth in pure shock, as the entity starts to panic, questioning its very existence. A crimson glow now pulses from Bei Ming's hand, and the entity's screams turn to pure despair, its mana, gone. Xiao Yu's eyes are wide with terror, as the entity wails, realizing it's lost absolutely everything. Bei Ming's face is a mask of pure shock, as Xiao Yu, putting it all together, gasps a name, the entity's power, eaten. Suddenly, back in a schoolyard, a voice snaps him out of it, needing help with a ball. He's quick to agree, but the true battle is just beginning, a fated clash between man and demon. Langshan stares down at Bei Ming, a heavy question hanging in the air, are you really sure about this? Xiao Tian, the fierce beast, lets out a triumphant bark, clearly loving the intensity of the moment. But Bei Ming is not having it, pulling back with a desperate cry, I'm not ready yet. Xiao Tian isn't backing down, pushing him to at least consider a partial commitment. Later, the weight of it all crushes Bei Ming as he sits alone, a silent, pleading look on his face. Langshan is absolutely furious, roaring about Bei Ming's foolishness and the world's fate hanging by a thread. Xiao Tian joins the chorus, demanding to know what he's waiting for, but Bei Ming can only stutter, completely overwhelmed. He's glued to his phone, mind racing. Was that even real, or just some crazy dream? He tries to snap back to reality, reminding himself he's just a student. But then, out of nowhere, a massive white beast materializes right behind him. He demands, who are you? And the beast just calmly replies, I am Xiao Tian. The beast, radiating power, confirms it, loud and clear, I am Xiao Tian. And just like that, he's back, staring at his phone, the same question burning in his mind, was any of that real, or just a crazy dream? He's trying to convince himself he's just a normal student. But then, in the bathroom mirror, a white-haired figure appears behind him, coolly announcing, "You're finally awake." Meanwhile, Lang Shen is looking intense, a serious look on his face as he ponders what could have possibly happened. Back in his room, he's on the bed, the white beast right there, and he asks, totally bewildered, "You're Xiao Tian?" The beast lets out a massive roar, but its voice is surprisingly calm, promising, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." He's still trying to process it all, blurting out, "You're Xiao Tian. But you're a dog." The beast immediately snaps back, "I'm not a dog. I'm a celestial beast." He's absolutely floored by the sheer speed of this white beast, it's moving so fast he can't even track it. And the creature just laughs it off, clearly enjoying his bewilderment. From a window, the white-haired figure sighs, "People always misunderstand me." Before dropping the bombshell, he's a celestial beast, not just some cute dog. Bei Ming's mind is blown, all he can manage is a bewildered, "Huh." Out of nowhere, a fiery red aura explodes, and a voice screams, "Get down, Bei Ming." The beast lunges, slamming into him with incredible power. The hit sends him flying, a shockwave of green energy bursting from the impact. Then, a golden, ethereal figure materializes, simply saying, "Sorry, master." He coughs, blood spraying as his eyes ignite with a terrifying red, the sheer force of the blow crushing him. The monstrous maw of Xiao Tian fills his vision, sending him spiraling through the urban landscape. His arms screaming in protest as it's pummeled by relentless energy blasts. The power is too much, a crimson inferno engulfing him as he plummets. His impact unleashing a devastating, crimson shockwave that rips through the air. He clutches his head, a raw scream of pain tearing through him, the red energy still raging. "Little monster." He gasps, his mind fracturing under the pressure. Only to be confronted by a sudden, unsettling image of a whip-wielding nurse in pink. The darkness tried to claim him, but even as he fought, his desperate struggle for freedom was utterly crushed. Bei Ming's face flushes, caught off guard and a little flustered. Just before, a friendly nurse with glasses had spotted him in the schoolyard, asking for a quick favor to toss a ball, and he was all like, "No problem." But now, she's got him in a tight hug, whispering apologies, and he's totally confused by this unexpected move. Then, a sharp cry rips from his throat, blood staining his lip, and he's wishing he wasn't himself right now. Out of nowhere, a terrifying monster with blazing red eyes unleashes a deafening roar, and the nurse screams a frantic warning to her master. Bei Ming's eyes go wide with shock, but that shock instantly morphs into pure rage as he blasts forward, a brilliant blue aura exploding around him, ready to defend his master. The monster lets out another roar, but Bei Ming is already there, unleashing a supercharged punch that absolutely rocks the beast. The monstrous entity strikes, sending the nurse screaming and tumbling backward. But before the killer can even think about finishing her, Bei Ming is already moving. He takes the hit, a searing pain exploding through him, but the beast doesn't let up, its savage claws ripping into his side. Then, a blinding blue aura explodes from him, his eyes blazing with raw power, and he snarls at the monster, demanding to know if it dared lay a hand on his master. With a primal roar, he charges, his fist blazing with crackling blue power. The monster, stunned by his explosive rage, barely gets out a confused question before Bei Ming's supercharged fist smashes right into its ugly mug. A guttural shriek tears from the beast as it stumbles back, while the nurse, still on the floor, defiantly shouts that she doesn't need his pity. Bei Ming unleashes a furious growl, his blue aura exploding even wider, and with a devastating surge of power, he blasts the monster flying. The beast rockets through the air, while the nurse, finally getting her bearings, yells out to him. It slams into a wall with a sickening crunch, cracking the very foundation, and screams a death threat at Bei Ming, but he just stands his ground, defiantly declaring that he won't let that happen. Even on the medical bed, Bei Ming is fighting, a desperate thought screaming in his head, he can't hold on any longer. His master's voice, laced with frustration, cuts through the haze, warning him that he's been fighting non-stop for a month and is about to kick the bucket. But the monstrous entity, eyes blazing with pure rage, feels a disturbance, knowing Bei Ming is pulling another stunt. Bei Ming, still defiant, snarls back, telling the entity to let go and questioning its very right to speak to him. The entity looks around, seeing the very space distorting, a clear sign of Bei Ming's insane power. Its fury boils over, outraged that Bei Ming would even try to use those puny magics against it. The entity's voice drips with pure venom, declaring Bei Ming has been nothing but a pain since he showed up. With a terrifying growl, the monstrous entity promises to unleash its true power, swearing Bei Ming will regret this moment. Its eyes burn with fierce intent, a chilling promise of the absolute beatdown coming his way. The monstrous entity's brutal assault connects with Bei Ming, sending him reeling. A flicker of doubt crosses the entity's mind, is this kid actually resisting my power? Bei Ming crashes to the ground, and the entity towers over him, roaring, how dare you? You'll pay for this defiance. A guttural roar rips from the entity's throat, its fiery gaze burning into Bei Ming. Is this whole mess because of this one kid? Even with Xiao Tian's desperate intervention, it was all for nothing, and now Bei Ming's life hangs by a thread, a mysterious amulet glowing faintly on his chest. A chilling voice booms, demanding to know if he's got a death wish for interrupting its meditation. Before scoffing at him as a mere human, totally beneath its notice. The terrifying beast then drops a bombshell, only one other fool ever interrupted it, and they're already pushing up daisies. And just to seal the deal, it promises Bei Ming's soul is next on the menu. Those fiery eyes burn with pure evil as the beast doubles down on its soul-devouring threat. Bei Ming lets out a choked gasp, his eyes wide as he gazes up at the massive, white-furred monster, utterly bewildered by its presence. His face twists in pure agony and disbelief, as he screams, realizing he's just unleashed something truly monstrous. His eyes are practically bugging out, as he frantically repeats his question, completely freaking out over the terrifying beast in front of him. Still reeling, Bei Ming stared down the monstrous form, his mind screaming, why was he still alive, and who was this terrifying entity that had just appeared? A guttural growl ripped from the creature, its fiery eyes blazing as it demanded, who dares to interrupt my slumber? Meanwhile, Xiao Yu, phone still in hand, could only stare, completely stunned. What just happened? Bei Ming was still frozen, his fear a cold knot in his stomach. The monster was still here. The monstrous fox-like creature fully manifested, its voice booming with a chilling promise, now come here and let me devour your soul. A terrifying red glow flared in Xiao Yu's eye as the entity's words sank in, her face contorting in sheer horror. With the entity closing in fast, Bei Ming and Xiao Yu bolted, running for their lives. But the creature was too fast, its massive paw slamming down, trapping Xiao Yu as it roared its intent to devour her soul. Xiao Yu could only scream as the entity's massive jaws opened wide, ready to chomp down. Pure, unadulterated terror contorts her features, her eyes screaming a silent plea. They were running, but the monstrous entity was just too fast, its shadowy form devouring the distance in an instant. A desperate scream ripped from her throat as she was violently yanked back, losing her footing and sent spiraling through the air. Her hand shot out in a desperate plea, but an unseen force dragged her deeper into the abyss, her mind screaming, I don't want to die. The entity's shadowy tentacles ensnared her, its voice a chilling whisper, claiming her as its little soul. Purple energy crackled around its grip, tightening its hold, as the monstrous being roared, you are mine. Tears streamed down her face, a raw cry of terror tearing through the air, as a faint, mysterious red glow erupted from her body. The entity reveled in its triumph, but a furious roar tore through the air from Bei Ming, who charged forward, enveloped in a blazing red aura, screaming, get your hands off her. His power surged, the red energy around him exploding, as he prepared to unleash his full, awakened might. Trapped by the monstrous entity, Xiao Yu's spirit ignited. A blazing crimson aura erupted around her as she made a silent, unbreakable vow, she would not die. But Bei Ming was already on the move, a blur of furious intent, absolutely refusing to let that thing take her. The entity, still gripping Xiao Yu, let out a chilling snarl, declaring it would devour her soul for its twisted revenge. But Bei Ming was already there, a literal explosion of crimson power erupting from him as he bellowed, a furious demand for her freedom. His attack absolutely obliterated the entity's hand, sending a massive shockwave ripping through the air and forcing a shocked cry from the monster. The entity's face twisted in thought, a low, guttural hum escaping it as it tried to process this sudden, overwhelming power. Still trapped, Xiao Yu locked eyes with Bei Ming, her own red aura blazing, a silent promise that she wouldn't let him die for her. Bei Ming's resolve was absolute, his attack surging with even greater power, absolutely crushing the entity and forcing it to recoil with a shocked, pained cry. With one last, desperate surge, the entity was forced to release Xiao Yu, screaming out a familiar name as she plummeted, while Bei Ming's furious demand for her freedom echoed through the void. Stunned by the sheer force, the monstrous entity could only gasp, questioning if even a deity could wield such power. But for Bei Ming, the stakes were clear, he had to live, to shield Yuer, and to unravel the mystery behind Xiao Tian's shocking proposal. A massive crescent moon looms over a desolate, alien landscape, and Bei Ming can't help but ask. Where is this place? A dream, he shouts, completely bewildered, his mind racing, what is this place? I was just in class. Am I dreaming again? Suddenly, a strange, red energy flares from his hand, and he can only gasp, how can a dream feel this real? He scans the bizarre surroundings, the truth dawning on him, and this power, it's absolutely real. Thunder cracks and lightning rips through the sky as he remembers, they say in dreams, your mind sleeps, but your body's awake. But this isn't just any dream, this is different. I can feel everything. Then, a majestic, white wolf-like creature materializes, its voice booming with ancient power, master the heavenly dog's power, and you'll enter the dream realm whenever you want. Bei Ming's eyes widen, the pieces clicking into place as he repeats, the heavenly dog. So this is the dream realm. Bei Ming is still reeling from the dream realm's secrets, but Xiao Tian, in its epic heavenly dog form, drops another bombshell, this is the ultimate training ground for the heavenly dog's power. He's got questions, though, like, is this power even his to wield? But Xiao Tian's got the answers, confirming this power is 100% his, a straight-up gift from the heavenly dog. Then, out of nowhere, the legendary heir Lang Shen materializes, glowing with golden power, ready to unleash the heavenly dog's true potential. He's not just showing off, he's teaching that this power is all about understanding its core. He whips his glowing spear, slicing through reality itself with a blinding arc of energy. Then, a massive, glowing magic circle explodes beneath him, showing off the insane control needed for this kind of power. Hyped by the display, Bei Ming clenches his fist, and bam. A raw, red energy surge explodes around his hand as he tries to tap into it. Heir Lang Shen watches, his words a stark reminder of the epic challenge ahead to master this insane gift. Later, back in what looks like his regular world, Bei Ming is chilling with Lin Ku, his hands still subtly glowing, a quiet reminder of the wild ride he just had. Xiao Yu, absolutely stunned, presses Heir Lang Shen for answers about the heavenly dog's power, barely believing its legendary might. And he confirms it, dropping the bombshell that this power is top tier, a reality-bending force. But she's not buying it, shouting no, as her mind reels from the sheer scale of what he's saying. She's demanding answers, like, what kind of power could seriously punch through the heavens? With a look that says, you have no idea, Heir Lang Shen drops the truth, this power comes straight from the heavenly dog itself, a legendary beast. But Xiao Yu's still skeptical, doubting if anyone, let alone a mortal, could actually wield something so epic. Then her eyes snap to Bei Ming, who's just standing there, his hands still pulsing with that crazy power he tried to summon. Meanwhile, the voiceover drops a bombshell, Xiao Tian's power isn't just some trick, it's an ancient, built-in, divine gift that's been passed down forever. This isn't just about training, it's a deep, cosmic link to the heavenly dog's core, making him an absolute powerhouse. A mysterious, glowing purple crystal pulses with an otherworldly, terrifying energy. Meanwhile, a monstrous, clawed hand clamps down on a struggling female figure, engulfed in crackling purple energy, as she screams about her own weakness, desperate to protect but unable to. The monstrous hand lunges for her face, razor-sharp claws ready to tear, as the spider demon roars its twisted intent to devour its own kin, convinced it will unlock unimaginable power. Elsewhere, Bei Ming charges forward, his powerful steps shattering the very ground beneath him. He's just gained Tian's demon power and is now locked in a brutal fight with the spider demon. Can he possibly survive this insane battle, or will everything the elders sacrificed be for nothing? Back at the scene, the multi-limbed spider demon has completely ensnared the female figure, its glowing red eyes locked on her as she thrashes desperately in its terrifying grip. Bei Ming gets absolutely rocked, sent flying through the air. And then, a monstrous, clawed hand, glowing with evil red energy, smashes into him. This is brutal. The giant monster wraps around him, trapping him in a pulsing red energy field, the relentless beatdown just keeps coming. Lin Ku, watching from afar, can't believe his eyes, yelling, how is this even possible? Bei Ming is getting absolutely wrecked, blood flying, but he's still fighting back. But then, a new challenger appears. Heir Lang Shen's eyes blaze with power as he shouts, stop. And with a lightning-fast thrust, his spear obliterates the monster's energy shield, sending fragments everywhere. A dark-haired figure, just hit by a massive attack, can't believe how easily they took the hit. Blue energy still crackles from the feathered spear that just hit, showing just how hard they got blasted. But as blood drips from a furious, red-glowing hand, they're already swearing revenge on whoever dared to hit them. Suddenly, a dark, shadowy aura explodes around them, eyes burning red as they fight back, but they can't stop the insane power taking over. Dark veins pop on their face, eyes blazing with shock and fury as they realize this power is totally out of control, but that just makes them want revenge even more. Then, a giant, multi-eyed, tentacled monster bursts out from behind them, and they scream that the more power they use, the more they lose their own body. The monster fully forms, shadowy tentacles lashing out as the figure desperately thinks, they're going to lose themselves completely if they don't stop this, but they still want to make their enemy pay. From behind, the monster glows with pure, dark energy, totally devouring the figure's body. With monstrous tentacles wrapping around their legs, the figure decides that if they're going to be hunted down and killed, they'll make sure to use every last bit of this insane power before they go. The raw power surges, ripping through him as he fights for control, feeling his very essence unravel. Too strong, he screams internally, succumbing to the overwhelming force. Meanwhile, Heir Lang Shen, watching the horrific change, coldly declares this power is too much for a human, just a vessel. He vows the transforming figure will pay for daring to wield such power, swearing to end him before he can ever threaten the heavens again. But a primal fury ignites within Bei Ming. I won't let you win, he roars, vowing to unleash this monstrous power to destroy Heir Lang Shen, even if it costs him everything, as shadowy tentacles burst from the earth. Heir Lang Shen recoils in shock, witnessing the power surge even further. Impossible, he shouts, baffled that a human could wield such immense power, realizing this isn't just a transformation, but an evolution. A primal, guttural roar tears from Bei Ming's throat as his eye blazes a terrifying red, his mouth twisting into a monstrous maw. Lang Shen grimly realizes Bei Ming has completely lost control, knowing he must be stopped now, before it's too late. With a final, earth-shattering roar, the transformation culminates, engulfing him in its raw, untamed might. Bei Ming, now a terrifying monster, unleashes an explosive wave of dark energy, blasting Lang Shen back with pure, unadulterated power. His body twists and bulges, a horrifying testament to the sheer, uncontrollable power surging within him, leaving everyone to wonder what kind of monster he's truly become. Lang Shen watches the destruction unfold from afar, a chilling truth hitting him hard: the vessel he thought he knew is completely gone, replaced by an unstoppable force of nature. But even as the monstrous power takes over, a ghostly vision of Xiao Yu flashes in his mind, a heartbreaking reminder of the humanity he's losing with every terrifying surge. Lang Shen, high above the city, is deep in thought, his mind racing over the heavenly heaven's latest moves. He's thinking about the sheer scale of the heavenly realm, how everything is controlled, and if the heavenly heaven can really keep it all together. He knows the heavenly heaven is powerful, no doubt, but is their approach actually working? Lang Shen later tells Xiao Tian that the heavenly heaven is being way too aggressive, and their harsh tactics are just making things worse. Xiao Tian totally gets it, saying the heavenly heaven's arrogance is out of control, and they're just asking for a fight. Lang Shen then looks at Bei Ming, stressing how serious this all is and how they need to think carefully, because the heavenly heaven's next step could change everything. Bei Ming, looking totally ready, accepts the challenge, prepared for whatever's coming. He turns to the students calling out from the basketball court, casually agreeing to help them out. Suddenly, a hand shoots out in pure dismay, a voice yelling, "Oh crap." As a small, furry creature zips by with a swift whoosh, its presence almost a blur. Then, a radiant figure with flowing white hair materializes, her voice cutting through the air with a sharp command: "Turn around." Xiao Tian, on the ground, defiantly protests to Lin Ku, declaring he doesn't need help and will handle it, fiercely reminding him of a crucial promise. Lin Ku, gazing down with an unyielding expression, coldly declares their departure is non-negotiable, the heavenly heaven is expecting them. Meanwhile, Bei Ming perches precariously on a railing, his form igniting with a fierce, crackling red energy, ready for anything. Xiao Tian unleashes his full, monstrous beast form, a thunderous roar tearing through the air as he fiercely reiterates his demand about the promise. As Bei Ming free-falls through the night sky, Xiao Tian's beast form surges with raw, clattering red energy, a force unleashed. He's still free-falling, a raw, crimson energy exploding from his form, while a tiny white beast below stares up, utterly bewildered. But elsewhere, Xiao Tian, now a full-blown beast, is absolutely refusing Lin Ku's relentless pressure, shouting that he won't go to heavenly heaven and reminding him of some critical promise. His eyes are burning with fiery red power, as he screams his absolute resolve to protect Bei Ming. A massive red aura engulfs his entire body, making it clear he's not backing down from Lin Ku. Back to the free-falling hero, Xiao Yu just pops into existence right next to him, her voice piercing the chaos with an urgent command: "Turn around." Her hand shoots out towards him, a silent, powerful gesture backing up her command. He's still dropping, but her outstretched hand starts to glow, a soft, ethereal light pulsing from her palm. Meanwhile, in a totally different part of the city, a sharp-dressed guy asks an older dude about the crazy red sky, who just casually tells him to call Master Han. The older guy just stares up at the blood-red sky, a look of pure shock plastered across his face. A new player enters the scene, his intense stare cutting through the air. Who is this guy? It's the academic dean. Remember that time he was acting all slick and handsome, only to get busted in a cheating scene? Talk about a major faceplant. Lin Ku is on the offensive, cornering the academic dean and demanding answers, but the dean plays dumb, claiming total ignorance. But Lin Ku isn't buying it, he pushes harder, knowing there's more to the story. Still, the academic dean holds his ground, sticking to his story of knowing absolutely nothing. But inside, his mind is racing, panicked, as he grapples with how this disaster even happened. Just as Lin Ku keeps pushing, Xiao Yu bursts onto the scene, and he immediately turns to her, convinced she holds the missing pieces. Her sudden arrival completely throws him off, leaving him wide-eyed and demanding to know what in the world is going on. Snapping back to reality, he quickly tries to smooth things over, insisting it's not what she thinks. Out of nowhere, a yellow car freefalls from the heavens, ripping through the air with a violent swoosh, leaving the academic dean utterly flabbergasted. His jaw drops, eyes bulging, he can barely gasp out a "wh what," as the car keeps on its deadly trajectory. The vehicle spins wildly, its horn screaming a frantic honk. Honk, as it barrels down, a metallic meteor aims straight for the streets. Down on the pavement, a couple stares up in pure terror, the woman screaming, "What the hell is that?" as the impossible becomes reality right before their eyes. The yellow menace keeps on plunging, a terrifying streak of speed, closing in on its target with sickening velocity. Chaos erupts as the car hurtles towards the street, the crowd screaming and scattering, desperate for anyone to save them. Just as all hope seems lost, a furry blur rockets into view. It's Xiao Tian, staff ready, blazing with speed, as he snarls, "Ichiwai. Don't you dare touch my master." In a single, explosive bound, Xiao Tian rockets skyward, a furry missile aimed directly at the falling vehicle. And with an incredible display of power, he snatches the massive car right out of the air, stopping it cold and saving the day. The car plunges, a fiery meteor screaming towards the ground, a deafening boom ripping through the silence. But just before impact, Xiao Tian, blazing with a fierce red aura, slams into the falling car, the sheer force of his intervention shattering the very atmosphere. Meanwhile, bystanders and the academic dean are absolutely floored, their minds reeling from the impossible spectacle they just witnessed. The academic dean is utterly speechless, gaping at the car now perfectly placed on the ground, the enigmatic figure standing coolly next to it. He confronts the enigma, demanding answers, but Xiao Tian's only reply is a fierce vow to protect his master. The dean flinches, taking a nervous step back, clearly unnerved. His jaw drops as Xiao Tian's body morphs, transforming into a fierce, loyal beast, letting out a powerful bark. Completely blindsided by the sudden shift and the creature's bizarre answer, the academic dean is left utterly speechless, stammering in disbelief. Elsewhere, a crowd of students watches in total awe, while a mysterious, glowing screen seems to be recording every single moment. The crowd erupts in stunned whispers, their minds reeling from the impossible sight. Langshan's eyes blaze with an electric blue, his sharp gaze piercing through the chaos as he demands to know how these bizarre figures shattered their barrier so effortlessly. The school grounds are buzzing with students, just another normal day, or so it seems. But then, the academic dean, looking sharp in his suit, rolls up with two other guys, his gaze sweeping over the students like he's searching for something specific. He zeroes in on a student, then drops the bomb with a cool, collected voice, "I'm the academic dean of this school, Han." His eyes narrow, cutting straight to the chase, "You're Bei Ming, right?" Bei Ming, looking a little subdued, just gives a quiet, "Yes." But as Bei Ming clutches his phone, something snaps inside him. His eyes ignite with a terrifying red, a dark aura explodes around him, and a chilling, primal question rips from his throat, "Do you want to die?" Inside his head, the beastly Xiao Tian pops up, trying to drop some wisdom, but Bei Ming, totally losing it, just roars, "Shut up." Xiao Tian keeps pushing, trying to calm the storm, but Bei Ming is having none of it. Meanwhile, completely oblivious to the mental meltdown happening right in front of him, the academic dean just keeps talking, his voice dripping with that classic authoritative vibe. While the academic dean kept talking, Bei Ming was fighting for his life on the inside. A shadowy aura pulsed around him, and Xiao Tian's voice was practically screaming, "Are you really going to hold back?" Completely clueless to the chaos brewing, the dean just kept on talking, cool as a cucumber. But inside, the ghostly wolf spirit was still going hard, practically yelling, "Are you seriously gonna keep this power bottled up?" The pressure was insane, his eyes burning crimson, as the voice inside taunted him, "You're just putting off the inevitable." Noticing the guy was totally spaced out, the dean actually stopped, a flicker of worry on his face. He asked if he was even listening, like, "Dude, are you even here?" But the inner voice wouldn't quit, pushing him to just unleash the power already. Still totally in the dark about the real fight, the dean just repeated himself, clearly getting annoyed. While the inner demon kept dangling power in front of him, Bei Ming plastered on a fake smile, trying to hide the epic struggle behind those glowing red eyes. Lin Ko is busy making big promises to Xiao Yu about her future, but in the background, someone's already calling out to Bei Ming for a quick favor. Bei Ming quickly agrees, but then, with a swift turn, he passes the buck, claiming he's too busy, as Xiao Yu hesitates, prompting Lin Ko to challenge her trust. Lin Ko drops the bomb that he's off to the academic dean's office, and Bei Ming just gives a casual "okay" in response. But as Bei Ming strides off, the ghostly white wolf, Xiao Tian, materializes right next to him, demanding to know why he's heading to the academic dean's office. Bei Ming reveals his mission, special enrollment, a term that instantly grabs the wolf's attention. Elsewhere, Lin Ko is lost in thought, convinced his special enrollment status is his golden ticket, a guaranteed path to a great career. Bei Ming spells it out, special enrollment is for the superpowered, making Xiao Tian immediately question if his own unique nature fits the bill. Bei Ming confirms the power, but then drops the bombshell, as a spirit, Xiao Tian is out of luck, leaving him utterly deflated. Xiao Tian's eyes flare with a crimson glow, his mind still fixated on Bei Ming's path, while Lin Ku, watching from afar, can't shake the feeling that his friend is seriously off. He's locked onto his phone, those words, special enrollment, hitting different, really making him think. Xiao Tian, looking all intense in his wolf form, totally calls him out, asking if he's still stuck on that special enrollment thing. Bei Ming gets a little flustered, looking away, but the spirit isn't letting up, pointing out the obvious, "You're a spirit, you can't enroll, but you're still obsessing, right?" Bei Ming's totally zoned out, deep in thought, while Xiao Tian's eyes are practically burning red, straight up asking if he's planning to just brute force his way in with his powers. Bei Ming snaps his head up, totally shocked, like, what are you even talking about? But Xiao Tian's just giving him that super suspicious side eye. Bei Ming just kinda shrugs him off, looking annoyed, but Xiao Tian's still got those laser eyes on him, pushing, seriously, you're not actually thinking about it, are you? Over in the dean's office, the academic dean's checking out some papers, and it looks like there's a special case for special enrollment this year. Big news. And get this, Xiao Yu's over here, all smiles, checking her phone, totally wondering if Lin Ke's gonna make it into the dean's office. Fingers crossed. The classroom is buzzing with rumors. Someone just dropped the bombshell that the academic dean is actually coming to their class today. And everyone's freaking out. Then, a serious-looking man steps forward, clearing his throat and dropping the bomb. He's Academic Dean Han. He doesn't waste a second, immediately diving into the super-important Divine Realm assessment, hyping it up as crucial for their entire future. A declaration that makes Bei Ming seriously think about what this massive trial could mean for him. The dean keeps going, calling the assessment a golden ticket for them to prove their skills, and Bei Ming's already strategizing how to ace it. He's even promising exclusive training and resources for the best of the best, and that news lights a fire under Lin Ke, who's already declaring this his moment to absolutely dominate. Then, with an intense stare right at Bei Ming, the dean lays down the law, take this assessment seriously, or else. It's a direct challenge, and Bei Ming feels the weight of it. He's walking, but his companion isn't letting up, pushing him on the Divine Realm assessment, asking why he's still playing coy. He tries to brush it off, saying he just doesn't want the spotlight, but his wolf companion isn't having it, firing back that he's the strongest, period, and if he doesn't step up, someone else will snatch that glory. His companion drives the point home, this assessment is his moment to shine, to prove everything he's capable of to the entire world, and that truth hits him hard, a sudden, undeniable clarity washing over him. He knows the assessment is all about finding the absolute strongest, and there's no way he's letting anyone else take that crown, his eyes now burning with fierce resolve. They keep moving, when suddenly, his companion breaks the silence, revealing they've been summoned. Next thing they know, a soft knock echoes from Master Han's office door, signaling their arrival. The door opens to a warm welcome from a woman inside, urging them in, as Master Han, standing right there, confirms he's been waiting. The woman remains perfectly composed at her desk, her legs crossed with effortless grace. He cuts straight to the chase, declaring his visit is all about the Divine Realm assessment, which gets the woman inviting them to sit, and Master Han nodding in approval, pleased he's finally taking this seriously. He's all ears as his buddy lays it all out, the Divine Realm assessment isn't just a test of power, it's a golden ticket to next-level training and resources. With his eyes blazing, Xiao Tian hypes up the fact that only the best get into the elite training programs, it's a game-changer. Back at Master Han's office, Xiao Yu's face is etched with worry, clearly deep in thought. Still talking, Xiao Tian doubles down on the assessment's importance, his glowing eyes practically burning with conviction, and Bei Ming is soaking it all in. His stare is intense, and Bei Ming's face hardens, a fresh determination sparking in his eyes. Later, in the office, Master Han's got the paperwork, laying out the rules, and Xiao Yu's getting more and more worried. She can't hold back her fear, straight up asking if the assessment is really as deadly as it sounds. Master Han, clutching the official docs, confirms it's no joke, this assessment is seriously intense. Glancing between Bei Ming and Master Han, Xiao Yu practically begs Bei Ming to be careful, her worry crystal clear. Bei Ming's face lights up with gratitude, acknowledging his master's words. But Master Han is already turning away, his figure quickly disappearing from view. Out of nowhere, a monstrous claw bursts forth, and Bei Ming is absolutely stunned by the terrifying beast. The beast, a massive wolf-like monster, unleashes a deafening roar, its terrifying fangs ready to strike. But Bei Ming isn't backing down. His face sets with fierce determination, as he makes a powerful vow to protect everyone. Master Han, seeing the unfolding chaos, looks on with intense worry, shouting out to Bei Ming. The monstrous wolf closes in, but Bei Ming holds his ground, his protective vow ringing out with absolute conviction. But wait, the threat escalates. A new, horrifying entity emerges, a grotesque beast with piercing purple eyes and thrashing tentacles, plunging Bei Ming into an unknown crisis. Even Master Han, his teacher, is caught in the crossfire. Can Bei Ming possibly pass this insane test? This terrifying new monster looms large, leaving us on the edge of our seats. A terrifying, red-eyed monster with gnashing fangs and deadly claws bursts from the shadows. Ready to strike, as Bei Ming snaps awake, his mind reeling. And suddenly, he's back in the classroom, his classmates giving him weird looks. But the freaky visions aren't over yet, a single, glowing blue eye now burns in his thoughts. He's stuck at his desk, a heavy frown on his face, still wrestling with the sheer terror of it all. He's internally screaming, totally fed up with these nightmares that feel way too real. His golden eyes flaring as shadowy, cawing bird things claw at the edges of his mind. The nightmare intensified, a swarm of shadowy, red-eyed birds cawing frantically in the suffocating darkness. Their chilling cries reverberating around a colossal, bloodshot eye with a piercing blue pupil, a terrifying vision. Suddenly, the nightmare shattered, leaving Bei Ming disoriented, staring out a classroom window at dark birds eerily similar to those in his dream. He couldn't shake the chilling feeling, these dreams were becoming terrifyingly real, his eyes flaring with an unnatural golden glow. A sudden, sharp tapping on his desk violently ripped him from his daze. While the academic dean, already fuming from the doorway, watched his continued inattention with escalating fury. His classmate, Lin Ku, leaned in, shaking his shoulder and demanding if he was finally conscious, pointing out he'd been out cold for the whole period. The dean then stormed forward, his voice cutting as he interrogated Bei Ming, who looked up, his eyes still faintly burning with that otherworldly golden glow. He laid into the student, demanding to know why he was constantly dozing off in class. Still out of it, Bei Ming was practically glued to his desk, even with Lin Ku trying to shake him awake, and then, bam. The academic dean just walked in, making a heavy thud as he arrived. That giant eye and those cawing birds just wouldn't quit, keeping him trapped. He finally snapped awake, but his eyes were blazing with an unnatural golden light. The dean was right there, demanding answers, asking about his nap and those crazy glowing eyes. He's fighting to hold it together, his mind a chaotic storm of vanishing memories, barely hanging on to reality. With every passing second, the clock keeps ticking, pushing him closer to the edge. That classroom clock just keeps on ticking, its hands relentlessly moving forward. Every tick-tock is like a hammer blow, ratcheting up the pressure. And then, just like that, the moment of truth hits. The academic dean is looming over Bei Ming's desk, his gaze a pure, unadulterated judgment. Bei Ming is locked onto that demerit notice, realizing the past is officially gone. He's kicking himself for his own recklessness, terrified this demerit is the ultimate game over for his school career. The dean's face turns to stone, laying down the law, he's not letting Bei Ming off the hook for this. Standing before the academic dean, he offers a quiet apology for his tardiness. The dean simply grunts in response, a silent judgment that this student's arrogance remains unchecked. He points to the clock, noting that it is already 8:30, confirming the student's repeated lateness. Addressing him directly, the dean states that Bei Ming is late once more, cutting off his attempt to explain. He continues, emphasizing that this marks Bei Ming's third offense this month alone. With a stern expression, the dean declares his decision to issue a demerit. Bei Ming's eyes widen in disbelief, uttering a shocked "a demerit?" The dean confirms the disciplinary action, adding a grave warning, one more demerit will result in expulsion. The weight of the threat settles upon him, leaving him stunned by the word expelled. A massive crack just explodes across a window, shattering it into a million pieces. Inside the office, the academic dean is just stunned by the shattered window, his eyes locked on these creepy, shadowy claws reaching up from nowhere. Then, a subordinate steps up, asking, "Dean, do you feel like something is seriously messed up?" The dean's face gets super serious as he fires back, "This school is sacred. How could this even happen? I'm taking this straight to the top." Outside, the entire building is practically shaking from some invisible power, the walls just screaming with the impact. And inside, the tremors are insane, making everything rattle and shake. Back at the shattered window, the dean just mutters, "This is really bad." A strange rustling sound cuts through the silence. When a sudden, loud noise erupts from a building, and the urgent message flashes, the 8th Division is out of commission, and they're scrambling for rescue. The academic dean, visibly stressed, can only mutter that all forces are out, but the zone is still hot. What in the world is going on? But Bei Ming, his eyes sharp, cuts in, "Dean, aren't you going to check it out yourself?" The dean's hand tightens into a fist, his face a mask of pure frustration as he cries, "What can I even do?" He throws his hands up, explaining that with only an hour left for the exam, it's already too late to go now. He should have acted sooner. The dean tries to warn him off, not wanting to involve him, but Bei Ming's eyes flash with an eerie green glow, a silent, dismissing the dean's worries. Bei Ming stands tall, a determined aura around him, knowing it's almost time. Then, without a second thought, he dives headfirst into a shimmering, shattered portal, engulfed in crackling blue energy as he vanishes. He's been transported to a freezing, unknown realm, and the sudden drop in temperature is the least of his worries. Suddenly, he notices a mysterious, glowing symbol manifesting right on his hand. His eyes go wide, shocked and worried by the strange new power appearing on him. Only one name, a desperate plea, leaves his mouth. Time skip. Now, Bei Ming is in a suit, fiercely confronting the academic dean, demanding to know where Yue is, but the dean seems more concerned about the disaster itself. Cool as a cucumber, the dean challenges him, asking what his next move will be. Bei Ming's hand shoots out, his words cutting through the tension, and the dean's face contorts in pure shock. On the desk, a pristine document sits, just waiting for a signature. The academic dean, now looking menacing, issues a chilling warning, making it clear that refusing to sign will lead to severe punishment. Standing courtside, he's just chilling when someone yells for a hand with a stray ball. No sweat, he calls back. But the chill vibe instantly evaporates as the academic dean's icy voice drops a warning, he's already caused enough chaos. Bei Ming, totally unfazed, just stares him down, I'm just getting started. Then, a raw burst of power erupts from his hand, glowing with intense energy. Before the dean can even blink, Bei Ming unleashes a focused energy blast, launching a glowing projectile straight at him. The dean stumbles back, utterly stunned, as the raw power of the energy stream slams into him. His face twists in a brutal grimace of pure pain and disbelief. But the dean, in a desperate move, fires back, launching a small, glowing object with shocking speed. He stares, jaw dropped, as his counterattack is instantly nullified. With zero effort, Bei Ming snags the projectile out of the air, the glowing object now just a harmless trinket in his grip. But Bei Ming. He just shrugs off the dean's threats, his face stone cold, ready to face whatever comes next. Then, bam. A glowing orange projectile blasts forward. And suddenly, a terrifying, fleshy cavern rips open, pulsating with red tendrils, a mysterious light piercing through the darkness, making you wonder what unholy thing is up there. He stares into the abyss. And then, a horrifying, pale monstrosity with twisted limbs claws its way out of the living walls, unleashing a blood-curdling growl. And it's not just one. More of these nightmare creatures crawl out, their twisted bodies filling the cavern, a terrifying army unleashed. All he can manage is one stunned word, monsters. He's reeling from the shock. Did the dean really have this nightmare weapon, or was this something far more sinister, something beyond comprehension? The cavern itself is alive, pulsating with a vile, fleshy energy, and from its depths emerges a towering, pale horror with a gaping maw, its silence more terrifying than any scream. But before he can even process the horror, a furious, disembodied voice rips through the air, screaming at him, "Hey, kid. What are you doing?" He snaps his gaze down, utterly bewildered to find a tiny, white, furry creature at his feet, its sudden appearance making him question if he'd been that oblivious. The creature pops up on its hind legs, its voice a frantic whisper, and he's still stuck on how tiny it is, thinking, is this thing a pet, while it's practically yelling, you're going to get caught. Xiao Tian, flustered, blurts out an apology, demanding to know when he figured everything out, only for him to shoot back, actually no. Xiao Tian cuts him off, his voice now dead serious, declaring, forget it. We need to get out of our school, now. They're on the move, hustling through the empty school halls, but Xiao Tian drops a bombshell, he just got here and has no idea where they're going, leaving their escape plan in total chaos. Then, with a fierce glint in his eyes, Xiao Tian barks, look out the window. Peering through the window, Bei Ming is hit with a chilling sight, leaving him utterly bewildered. Outside, a massive, grotesque creature with glowing red eyes and a powerful aura stands ominously, its presence radiating an unsettling power. He can only stare, his mind reeling from the sight, as he blurts out, why is there such a colossal orc here? But before he can even process that, Xiao Tian's voice cuts through the air, dropping a bombshell, it's not an orc. It's a demon. The revelation hangs heavy, confirming the ancient evil that has stirred, bringing monsters to life, and leaving Bei Ming to face the daunting question of how he will confront the darkness ahead. A mysterious purple energy orb pulses with an ominous glow, and someone's like, deity? Are you sure? I can't even feel the evil spirit, but how is he possessed by a deity? This swirling energy confirms it's not a deity, but an evil spirit of immense power, practically impossible to get close to. Inside a sleek building, Bei Ming faces off against the majestic, white-furred wolf-like beast, Xianyu, dropping a bombshell, tempering this entity with divine powers would just make it stronger, totally losing control of the evil spirits. Xianyu's fiery red eyes glow as he realizes that without Heavenly Heaven's divine power, he'd have been clueless about this thing, confessing he wouldn't even dare to step near it, because its evil aura is even stronger than Heavenly Heaven's was before. Then, it hits Bei Ming like a truck, his eyes going wide as he shouts, hold on. The evil spirit is me. His face twists into pure shock and worry, as he tries to wrap his head around the fact that he's got all this divine deity power inside him. Standing shoulder to shoulder, Bei Ming looks down, then turns to Xianyu, casually mentioning this isn't his first rodeo with this kind of evil spirit, and asks for confirmation. A chilling wail of pure agony rips through the sky, as a dark, ominous purple energy begins to consume the very air above the city. Feeling that sudden, overwhelming surge of power, Bei Ming is in a full sprint, demanding to know why this force has suddenly become so incredibly strong. The monstrous entity's form is now taking shape, its glowing eyes and gaping maw radiating an immense, oppressive pressure that hits like a physical blow. And at its very core, a massive, circular object, intricately patterned and pulsing with raw purple energy, reveals itself as the true source of this terrifying power. The core pulses with a terrifying new vigor, emitting guttural sounds of struggle as its power skyrockets. With a deafening roar, the entity fully manifests as a towering, ethereal titan, swirling with dark purple energy. Meanwhile, Lin Ku clutches his head in exasperation, utterly fed up with the chaos and just wanting to eat a decent meal. The monstrous entity just keeps growing, its colossal, ethereal form now completely swallowing an entire building. With a determined gaze, Bei Ming senses another presence, acknowledging its arrival with a challenge. The evil spirit had completely shattered the school's seal, its raw power now unleashed. Towering over the city, the monstrous entity was absolutely massive, dwarfing everything below, a truly terrifying spectacle. Its spectral form just kept growing, swallowing up more and more of the city in its terrifying shadow. As the chaos erupted, Bei Ming's fist tightened, his determination burning as he vowed, "I can't let it keep growing." Meanwhile, Lin Ko was in shock, demanding answers about the broken school barrier, and the academic dean, looking grim, confirmed, "This is terrible. The evil spirit is about to escape." As the entity grew, Lin Ko declared they had to stop it, but the academic dean shot back, "But how? It's way too powerful." Shoving past everyone, Lin Ko bolted, his voice raw with desperation as he screamed, "Yuer." His face twisted in a furious snarl, he yelled at anyone blocking him, "Get out of my way, now." Shoving through the crowd, Lin Ko's mission was crystal clear, "Yuer's still in there. I have to get in and save her." Facing down the monstrous, shadowy evil spirit, Bei Ming's resolve is absolutely unbreakable, refusing to give up any ground. But across campus, a desperate struggle is going down. Lin Ko is being held back by academic Dean Han and his crew, fighting to break free, his voice absolutely raw as he screams to be let go. The academic dean, looking super serious behind his shades, pulls rank, making sure everyone knows who he and Lin Ko are. But Lin Ko is not backing down, he keeps pushing forward, a laser focus burning in his eyes as he tries to blast through the crowd. His hand shoots out, a desperate grab, screaming Yuer's name as he tries to reach her. The academic dean, still trying to talk sense into him, shouts that he's just going to get himself killed, calling him a total, good-for-nothing hunter. But Lin Ko, with eyes blazing with pure, unadulterated fury, rips free from their grip, shouting that there are no other options for rescue. The other guys are totally baffled, asking why a normal dude with no mana would be so crazy desperate to save her, convinced he's just asking for a death sentence. The school itself is now glowing with a terrifying red aura, a chilling, undeniable sign that the seal is shattered and the evil spirit is already inside, just waiting to devour anyone who even thinks about stepping foot in there. The academic dean, backed by his crew, lays down the law, threatening Lin Ko to shut his mouth or face the consequences. He lets out a frustrated groan, peering down with a flicker of worry in his eyes. But his cool facade shatters, as pure shock washes over him. But Lin Ko's eyes ignite with a furious red glow, ignoring the dean's bewildered shout. Then, a colossal, spectral wolf, Xiao Tian himself, erupts behind him, as Lin Ko roars his defiance, ready to tear apart anything that moves, unleashing raw spirit power even without mana. Red lightning explodes around Lin Ko, his face a terrifying mask of pure, unhinged rage. The academic dean, sunglasses gone, stares in utter disbelief, muttering to himself, completely blindsided by this insane power-up. But before he can even process it, a colossal explosion of red energy detonates from Lin Ko, sending the academic dean flying, his shades ripped from his face as he screams in pure terror. And from the heart of that swirling red chaos, a shadowy, clawed hand of the spirit lunges out, ready to tear into its target. Lin Ko's spirit power absolutely explodes in a crimson maelstrom, with the terrifying, shadowy claw of Xiao Tian manifesting right behind him. As the power surges, Bei Ming's face twists with pure, unadulterated worry, his mind screaming for Yuer to just hold on. Out on the court, a student shouts to Bei Ming for a quick assist with a stray ball, and he's all like, "No problem." But then, a sudden, explosive burst of crimson energy just detonates around him, and Bei Ming's chill vibe instantly flips to pure, laser-focused intensity. He's got no time to waste, he declares, and then he just absolutely explodes forward, a crimson blur leaving a fiery red streak behind him. The other student's jaw just drops, totally flabbergasted as Bei Ming literally blinks out of existence. Then, out of nowhere, Lin Ko, who was just chilling, lets out a yelp of pain as Bei Ming materializes right in front of him, locking down his arm with insane speed. Lin Ko's shock quickly morphs into total confusion, like, what just happened, but Bei Ming's hold is absolutely ironclad. Before he can even process a single thought, Bei Ming unleashes a lightning-fast, blinding strike, leaving Lin Ko utterly dazed and confused. Blindsided by an impossible force, Lin Ko is sent spinning, a flash of red energy marking the spot where he was just standing. He barely has time to blink before a barrage of lightning-fast hits slams into him, a cacophony of swoosh, bang, and POW erupting around him. His mind struggles to catch up, and then it hits him, the ball is gone. Just like that. As Lin Ko stumbles, utterly bewildered in the dust cloud, Master Han, watching the chaos unfold, vows to put this blockhead A-rank student in his place. But Academic Dean, clearly worried, tries to reason with him, pleading with Master Han to just stop. He desperately warns Master Han about Heavenly Heaven's arrival and the risk of making everything worse, begging him not to escalate the already tense situation. But Master Han isn't listening. With a determined look, he pulls out a glowing, sparking smartphone, declaring it the only solution. Enraged, Master Han snaps, grabbing Academic Dean by the collar, and fiercely demands if he heard him. And through all this, Lin Kuo is still completely lost, staring into space and wondering, what just happened? Master Han's hand clutches the mysterious device, and a shockwave of energy bursts forth, making him gasp. He's thinking these stinky brats are getting way too cocky. Crackle. Zzzzz. He's pumping power into it, the device's core absolutely blazing with energy. Academic Dean, watching this wild display, can't believe his eyes. Is Master Han seriously trying to charge that thing with a measly number 5 battery? But Master Han is already getting hit by the device's crazy feedback, totally stunned by the sensation on his neck and the terrifying thought that he's been found first. Then, a figure engulfed in a sinister red aura just appears, his golden eyes burning as he challenges Master Han, demanding to know who he is. With a smirk of pure arrogance, Heavenly Heaven brushes off the question, coolly stating he's just a handsome guy. The entire area is wrecked, a massive shadowy monster looming over the rubble, showing off the sheer power that's just been unleashed. As the shadowy beast stirs, Heavenly Heaven's voice booms, announcing the arrival of Xian Tian Tang. With a vicious sneer, he rips into his opponent, calling them a lowlife and roaring that Heavenly Heaven should have been first, before finally unleashing his true title, I, Undead King Xian Tian Tang. In the heart of the devastation, the monstrous entity lets out a guttural snarl, its body engulfed in a terrifying red aura. It questions its own control as the sheer evil energy explodes from within, a relentless force that just keeps growing. This dark, jagged power, once unleashed, just keeps surging, an endless tide of destruction. As the creature's evil aura goes into overdrive, two figures face it down, one shouting for them to bail, admitting they're totally outmatched. But Bei Ming, his eyes now blazing crimson and his hand crackling with raw red energy, roars his absolute resolve to shield his classmates, even if he has to take on this entire fight solo. His gaze locked onto the monstrous threat, he makes a solemn vow, he'll take it down, no matter what it takes. With a sharp intake of breath, his glowing eyes snapped shut, locking onto his target with laser focus. Then, with a primal scream, a shadowy, bat-like beast, eyes glowing like embers, explodes forward, a pure manifestation of his power. It absolutely rips across the shattered landscape, a pure blur of dark energy and blistering speed. With a bone-jarring crash, the shadowy beast absolutely obliterates a huge rock formation, sending shrapnel flying everywhere. Just as the dust settles from his explosive power, a new crisis explodes. The very ground gives way, sending someone plummeting into the abyss. Yuer screams, free-falling through the shattered floor, a torrent of rubble and dust chasing her down into the unknown. But from the edge, Bei Ming's eyes blaze with fierce determination, a powerful vow echoing through the crumbling ruins, Yuer, don't be afraid. I'll save you. He dives, arm outstretched, a lifeline to the falling Yuer, straining to grab her before she vanishes into the depths. Her legs flail helplessly, the abyss below still waiting to swallow her whole. A massive, glowing symbol just appeared in the middle of the city, and an ambulance is already there, surrounded by a bunch of serious-looking officials. This is huge. The Academic Dean is already on site, and he's not happy. He knows this is a total disaster, and someone's head is going to roll for it. He turns to his subordinate, absolutely fuming, demanding to know why he's only hearing about this catastrophe now. His face is pure rage, and you can practically feel the tension in the air. Back at school, even Bei Ming and Xiao Yu are looking worried, because everyone's heard about the crazy incident. Xiao Yu confirms the incident was super close to their school, and Bei Ming is just thankful they stayed inside today. The subordinate finally explains to the Academic Dean that the incident was so sudden, and the info was locked down, so they literally just got the news. The Academic Dean, a picture of calm, takes it all in. Xiao Yu, head down, tries to explain, a hushed, I'm sorry, barely audible. He just watches her, still caught in her own world. He turns, the Academic Dean's mind racing, the full scope of the incident hitting him. But Xiao Yu, she's got her own take, deciding if it wasn't her mess, it wasn't her problem, and she's done asking questions. Later, the Academic Dean and the principal are side by side, a silent nod exchanged as the crowd erupts in cheers. The crowd goes wild, hailing the principal as a hero, with some even confessing they'd normally be too scared to challenge him. The principal, ever the leader, raises a hand, commanding the students to chill out. The Academic Dean's quick thinking saved the day, handling the incident perfectly, leaving the school untouched and everyone calm, a total win that impressed the big bosses and squashed all the drama. The Academic Dean is absolutely showered with praise from his colleagues, including the principal and Master Han, who are hyping him up for flawlessly handling the whole mess. But hold up, a serious question hangs in the air, as Lin Kuo asks how the academic dean wields power on par with the freaking heavenly heaven. Even Xiao Tian, the majestic white wolf, seems to confirm this wild theory, its glowing eyes practically screaming the truth. Later, someone presses the now quieted Xiao Tian for answers, and all it can manage is a sad little whimper. Over with the students, Xiao Yu confesses to Yuer that she played a small part in the whole chaotic incident. Yuer takes it in, but Xiao Yu, blushing and looking down, quickly tries to clear her name, insisting she didn't cause the whole mess. She doubles down, vehemently denying any more blame, her face burning red with total embarrassment. Suddenly, a phone buzzes, and an urgent voice shouts out for Bei Ming. Bei Ming, trying to make a quick exit with Xiao Tian, gets totally cut off by the academic dean, who's not letting him escape without his cut of the reward. Xiao Tian, in his epic beast form, hits Bei Ming with a heavy question: does he even remember the real truth of his power? With a thoughtful look, Bei Ming takes it all in, admitting he needs a second to just breathe and figure things out. And just to drive the point home, Xiao Tian's entire form erupts in a blinding, purple glow, pulsing with raw, untamed power. Fast forward to a more serious vibe, Bei Ming, looking sharp in a suit, is chilling with Xiao Tian, still in beast mode. He's grilling him about the academic dean's crazy power, calling it divine, and Xiao Tian just drops the bomb: it's exactly like heavenly heavens. His eyes burning with a fierce red glow, Xiao Tian doubles down, revealing the dean's power isn't just similar, it's a straight-up copy of heavenly heavens. A vibrant, red aura pulses around him, underscoring the sheer weight of his words. Switching scenes, way up high above a massive building, someone is free-falling, dropping like a rock. But then, a young woman with flowing, light blue hair and piercing, ethereal eyes just casually stands on a bed of clouds, radiating pure, otherworldly power. Her gaze is distant, her expression totally serene, like she's pondering secrets from beyond the cosmos. The school grounds are still buzzing with rumors after a crazy incident yesterday, where students actually got hurt. Bei Ming is just chilling by the fountain, but his mind is racing, wondering if the academic dean will finally drop the news about the incident today, praying he doesn't have to wait forever. Suddenly, a girl pops up, telling him to chill out and wait, then totally out of nowhere, she's like, I want to eat the rainbow. He's like, okay, come back soon, and she just bolts. Meanwhile, some other dude is totally gushing over a girl named Luli, saying it's only natural to want to date someone that cute. The fountain just keeps on splashing, totally oblivious to all the drama. But as the clock ticks, Bei Ming starts to get seriously worried, wondering why that girl still hasn't come back. Just chilling on campus, Bei Ming gets a shout-out from some classmates needing a hand with a runaway ball, and he's totally down to help. But then, bam! A terrifying vision hits him, a dude freaking out, face red, practically screaming, why are you still here? Now. Get over here and save me. A hand reaches out, or maybe it's being dragged, swallowed by the creeping shadows. A girl's face twists in pure horror, her eyes burning with an insane, evil red glow. This massive, furry, fanged monster has the girl in its grip. The other guy can only watch, screaming in total agony. The beast yanks the girl even closer, its voice a bone-chilling whisper, come and kiss me. And now the monster's got the guy too. He spots Bei Ming watching this nightmare and screams, why are you still here? Didn't you say you'd save me? Both of them are trapped by the monster, the girl's agonizing screams ripping through the air, I'm in so much pain. I'm going to die. The guy fights back, but it's useless against the monster's hold, his desperate cries to be let go echoing into the void. The nightmare deepens. A mysterious girl with flowing blue hair appears, eyes closed, engulfed in a soft blue aura, whispering, I don't know why I'm here. But then, her eyes blast open, glowing with an intense blue light, and the blue energy around her explodes, swirling with terrifying power. Then, a monstrous, shadowy figure with piercing red eyes materializes, towering over her, and she screams in pure terror, watching there. The scene shifts, her lower body now consumed by the swirling blue energy. The voice taunts, calling someone a foolish human for daring to grasp its power by trying to borrow from another. Now completely swallowed by a vortex of blue energy, the girl looks up in utter despair, as the voice booms, the abyss is absolute, and she is destined to be its lady. She stands, hair flowing, eyes blazing with abyssal power, but her face is etched with deep sorrow. The monstrous entity, now crackling with dark purple energy, lunges, its shadowy form dragging the girl closer. Dark, ominous tendrils lash out, coiling around her and completely swallowing her into the encroaching darkness. She just stares. Then, with a deep rumble, she channels her energy. The atmosphere goes wild as she unleashes her ultimate move. Her gaze intensifies. She moves with lightning speed, swinging that blade. The assault keeps coming. Her eyes blaze with an intense, icy glow. Back in reality, Bei Ming is absolutely booking it. A sudden, crushing force hits him, stealing his breath and leaving him utterly stunned. He struggles to comprehend the sheer power, realizing he's never felt an ice element this strong, ever. This isn't just ordinary ice, it feels alive, like it's trying to freeze his very soul. From the swirling energy, the Ice Mage girl emerges, her form crackling with ice as she unleashes her power. With a focused gaze, she draws the frigid essence around her, shaping it into a deadly weapon. The ice coalesces, forming a massive, glowing sword in her grasp. He watches the completed blade, his expression hardening with a mix of awe and concern. Reflecting on the vision, he wonders what kind of spirit could possess such an overwhelming will of ice. Lin Ku and Xiao Tian face off on a shimmering ice platform, and you can practically feel the tension building. Xiao Tian can't help but wonder, is this guy seriously trying to act cute right now? But then, the Ice Mage girl steps in, cool as ice, stating that while there's something about him, it's totally not worth her time. Xiao Tian fires back, calling Lin Ku the cute one, who immediately denies it, only for the Ice Mage girl to chime in, telling him he's acting like a total child. Enraged, Lin Ku lunges forward, screaming his denial, but the Ice Mage girl is ready, warning him that her ice magic is no joke. Then, with an incredible, lightning-fast swish, she unleashes her devastating power. A massive bang echoes as a devastating blue energy blast slams into Lin Ku, sending him flying back with a guttural cry of pain. Lin Ku, still reeling, can't believe the audacity. How dare you defy me? Do you even know the Heavenly Heaven's bloodline? He roars. But the Ice Mage girl isn't having it. I don't care who you are, she screams, launching herself skyward. A furious blizzard gathering around her as she vows to protect her master. The ice magic slams into Lin Ku, a strange, weak breath of power washing over him. Before the full, devastating blast hits. He clutches his chest, a shocking red glow erupting from his very core, enduring the impossible. The Ice Mage girl is stunned, utterly baffled by his resilience. Then, a document flashes into view, revealing the name, Bei Ming. And her eyes widen even further in absolute shock. Still airborne, the Ice Mage girl goes for the kill, a flurry of ice shards trailing behind her as she prepares to strike. She slices through the air, enveloped in a shimmering aura of frost, a true force of nature. Below, Lin Ku stands his ground, a defiant challenge on his lips, "You're the one who's going to die, not me." He's not backing down. The Ice Mage girl looks down, a hint of exasperation in her voice as she wonders when he intends to perish, questioning if she's truly seeing fear in his eyes. Is he really that scared? Lin Ku, however, is forced to retreat, his mind reeling at the indignity of a Heavenly Heaven's bloodline being pushed back by a mere ice mage, vowing to make her pay for this humiliation. He promises she will regret this encounter, a furious glint in his eye. A crimson aura flares around him, his eyes glowing with a fierce, awakened power as he acknowledges that she is no weak opponent, and he had underestimated her. Time to get serious. With a sudden burst of speed, he unleashes a devastating counterattack, shattering the ice around him. Bang! The Ice Mage girl meets his gaze, her own eyes glowing with renewed determination, declaring her power to fight him. She's not backing down either. Just then, a powerful, white wolf with fiery red eyes appears, its presence radiating raw power. Xiao Tian has arrived. The Ice Mage girl isn't holding back. Surrounded by razor-sharp ice, she's locking onto her targets, her magic surging with incredible speed. And just like that, she unleashes a devastating ice attack, a massive explosion of frigid energy ripping through the air. But just as it's about to hit, boom. Xiao Tian, in his epic wolf form, teleports in, taking the hit for Lin Ku, who's absolutely stunned. But the Ice Mage girl isn't backing down. Her eyes narrow, and she declares she's finishing this, no matter what. Then, with a battle cry, she unleashes her ultimate move, the Icy Blizzard Dance, a terrifying vortex of pure frozen power. Lin Ku's jaw drops, as that blizzard comes screaming right at them. Those deadly ice shards are closing in, a freezing storm about to swallow him whole. But Xiao Tian is a blur of motion, swish. 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 He's batting away every single ice shard with insane speed. He's a whirlwind of defense, shattering ice left and right, all while trying to talk some sense into her. Listen to my explanation, first, he roars, as ice explodes around them. The Icy Blizzard Dance was unleashed, shards of frozen energy absolutely exploding with concussive force. Still shielding a stunned Lin Ku on the ground, Xiao Tian, in his beast form, tried to reason with the attacker, his voice a desperate plea, "I'm sorry." His instincts were screaming caution, sensing something off about this whole situation. He figured this woman was in some kind of weird trance, maybe not even an enemy, and fighting her head-on was just too risky. The Ice Mage girl, momentarily shocked by his words, seemed to get his apology, but her assault didn't let up, forcing Xiao Tian to beg for mercy again. Despite his attempts to chill things out, a powerful ice blast slammed right into him, sending a shockwave through his entire being. Lin Ku, seeing the hit, could only watch in pure alarm as his protector took the blow. The sheer force of the magic kept pushing Xiao Tian back, his body skidding across the ground as he questioned the non-stop assault. More ice shards erupted around him, the non-stop barrage making him yell in pure frustration. Still unable to break through the magical onslaught, he realized the Ice Mage Girl was giving him zero quarter. The Ice Mage Girl locks in, her power surging as crystalline energy explodes from her hand, instantly shaping into a formidable ice spear. She's not holding back, pouring mana into the construct with insane precision. And just like that, the spear explodes in size and intensity, blasting out an immense, chilling aura as it solidifies into a weapon of pure, raw frozen power. Then, with a sharp, undeniable swish, the ice spear is fully formed, its edges gleaming with absolutely deadly potential. Gripping the formidable weapon, she drops the bombshell. This is the true power of ice, a force so intense it can literally freeze the air around them. She keeps going, stressing that it's not just about making ice, but about straight-up manipulating the very essence of cold itself. Watching her demonstration, Bei Ming is totally absorbing her words, a thoughtful, almost stunned expression on his face as he processes the sheer depth of her power. He's absolutely glued to the spectacle as the Ice Mage Girl goes full throttle, a frosty blue energy exploding from her and sending the monster reeling. The atmosphere practically freezes as she keeps pushing, her voice a battle cry. This isn't just some ice trick, it's about bending the very essence of cold to my will. Every word she utters amps up the frigid power, wrapping around the thrashing monster like a deadly embrace. Suddenly, razor-sharp ice shards explode from everywhere, impaling the monster and ripping a primal scream from its throat. The monster's body goes into spasms, its red eyes burning with pure rage, while Bei Ming just stares, witnessing this insane display of power. The beast goes wild, fighting the frozen chains, but the Ice Mage's grip is unbreakable. Its face twists into a silent, tortured shriek, the dark energy around it sputtering out. The Ice Mage unleashes one final, massive surge, trapping the monster completely in a shimmering, frozen tomb. The rumbling dies down, leaving the monster a solid block of ice, and Bei Ming is left speechless, utterly blown away by her raw, destructive power. Lang Shen is locked in, watching the madness unfold, while Xiao Tian can't help but comment on the monster's insane durability. But the monster? Oh, it's absolutely furious, screaming that no human can take it down, its body practically vibrating with raw power. It's not just angry, it's hungry, promising to devour every last one of them, its terrifying mouth gaping open. But the Ice Mage Girl? She's not even flinching, already winding up her next attack, a bone-chilling aura radiating from her entire being. Then, in a flash, she unleashes a blizzard of ice shards, blasting them straight at the monster. Those icy projectiles multiply, turning into razor-sharp blades that tear through the air, all heading for one spot. They slam into the monster with explosive force, shattering its defenses as Lang Shen lets out a shocked gasp. But before the monster can even think about hitting back, Lang Shen unleashes a massive energy blast, blocking its attack with an epic clang. The monster gets absolutely rocked, engulfed in a massive purple explosion, its entire body swallowed by the blast. The Ice Mage Girl goes all out, a blinding blue aura erupting around her as she vows to unleash the absolute true power of ice. With her eyes blazing with icy resolve, she's pouring every ounce of her power into this attack. Then, a massive bang. Her focused attack slams home, shattering into a storm of razor-sharp ice shards. The monstrous entity lets out a guttural growling, reeling back as the brutal ice attack rips through its defenses. Bang! 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 More explosions rock the beast, each hit pushing it further into submission. Then, a final, earth-shattering boom engulfs the entire entity, swallowing it in a blinding, cataclysmic explosion of ice. But as the icy chaos fades, Lang Shen is there, swooping in to catch the exhausted Ice Mage Girl, his concern clear as he asks if she's okay. Stepping onto the court, Bei Ming is immediately hailed by a couple of students, who need a hand getting their ball back. Without hesitation, he shouts back, "Okay, no problem." Bei Ming holds the Ice Mage Girl tight and she's totally blushing, telling him to put her down. While she plants her foot down hard. And he, with a confident smirk, tells everyone else to back off and leave it all to him. She's like, "Okay," and then bam. The Ice Mage Girl unleashes her frozen lotus ice magic, a massive, glowing, multi-petaled construct erupting with ice shards. But Bei Ming isn't waiting. He charges in, a blazing red aura surrounding him, then it shifts to a powerful blue as he gets ready to strike. He hits with insane power, sending an enemy flying with a massive BAM. Just a total amateur, he thinks. And he's not done. His red aura flares as Bei Ming unleashes a relentless barrage, delivering powerful punches that smash with crackling purple energy. The Ice Mage Girl gets absolutely rocked, hands flying up to block a devastating blow as white particles explode around her. But the monstrous entity, reeling from the Ice Mage's attack, is not happy, cursing its own loss of face. But before it can even think about a comeback, Bei Ming is already there, his voice a thunderclap as his aura-charged fist smashes into the creature's claw, shouting that its stalling ends now. His eyes blaze with renewed focus, a past error flashing through his mind, as he vows that any slip-up was just a one-time thing, never again. Then, with an explosive burst of power, Bei Ming launches himself forward, a blinding aura erupting around him, blitzing the creature in a flash. But the creature isn't backing down, unleashing its ultimate weapon, a monstrous, shadowy dragon with eyes burning like hellfire. But Bei Ming just laughs in the face of danger, unleashing a devastating purple-pink energy blast that absolutely obliterates the dragon manifestation, leaving the Ice Mage girl speechless at his raw power. The dragon screams and shatters as Bei Ming's energy rips it to shreds, and the Ice Mage girl can only stare, blown away by how easily he wields such insane power. Then, with a bone-shattering crunch, Bei Ming lands the ultimate, aura-charged blow, sending the monstrous entity flying back, utterly overwhelmed. Bei Ming's devastating purple-pink energy absolutely engulfs the monstrous entity, a power display that leaves onlookers stunned. The blast intensifying and absolutely obliterating the creature with overwhelming force. The Ice Mage girl watches, her eyes wide with a mixture of shock and awe at the sheer magnitude of his strength. The monstrous entity lets out a pained roar as his attack shows absolutely no sign of relenting. He glances back at her, a silent acknowledgement passing between them, as she thinks to herself that he's looking good this time. Recalling the ancient prayers and the divine power of the goddess of eternal frost, the Ice Mage girl prepares to unleash her own formidable abilities. A brilliant blue aura erupts around her, ice particles swirling as she channels her magic. Her eyes glow with fierce determination as she prepares to cast the prison of eternal frost. With a powerful surge, a massive wall of ice erupts from the ground, rapidly expanding to ensnare their foe. With a surge of raw power, the Ice Mage girl unleashes a blinding torrent of glowing blue ice shards, tearing through the air with a chilling click. The monstrous entity lets out a guttural roar, but it's no match for the relentless, freezing assault as the Ice Mage girl declares, "I'll show you the true power of the prison of eternal frost." With a deafening pang, the ice slams shut, trapping the beast in a shimmering, frozen cage. The colossal ice prison stands, a testament to her power, leaving Bei Ming utterly stunned. It's actually frozen. He turns to her, a genuine smile gracing his lips, exclaiming, "You're really strong." But even after such a powerful display, she remains humble, her eyes burning with resolve. "I'm not strong enough yet." Her conviction unwavering, she declares, "I still have a long way to go to catch up to you." But before they can react, with a deafening "ziai" and pang, the ice prison detonates, blasted apart by an overwhelming surge of power from the monster. Both of them reel back, shocked, as Bei Ming whispers, "This breath." The monster just shattered the ice prison, and the Ice Mage girl screams a desperate warning to Bei Ming. But it's too late. A dark purple energy tendril explodes from the monster, absolutely obliterating Bei Ming's defenses and piercing him clean through. He gasps in agony, clutching his chest as the searing pain of the attack rips through him. This monster is no joke. Xiao Yu is getting impatient, wondering why things are moving so slowly, but the Ice Mage girl is just trying her best, still adapting to everything. But elsewhere, Bei Ming is staring down a terrifying monster, its body crackling with dark energy, and he's thinking, is this the thing that broke my defenses? Its power is off the charts. He's got no choice. Bei Ming starts powering up, a forbidden technique, a massive purple aura exploding around him, knowing this is his last resort. Then, with an insane burst of speed, he strikes. A whoosh of purple energy as he goes all out. But just as he's about to hit, bam. Someone else is even faster, a lightning-quick counterattack smashes into him, and he's sent flying back, completely shocked. The mysterious attacker just keeps coming, relentless, taunting him as Bei Ming can't even process how fast this guy is. With eyes blazing purple, the attacker grabs Bei Ming by the throat, sneering, pathetic, as a bone-chilling crack rips through the air. Bei Ming unleashes a devastating, forbidden skill, a pulsating wave of raw purple energy. But in a flash, a shadowy figure with piercing purple eyes appears, intercepting him with blinding speed. The impact is brutal, shattering Bei Ming's defenses and leaving him reeling. Another crushing blow lands, tearing a scream from his throat. He's sent flying, slamming into a wall with bone-jarring force, utterly defeated. Barely clinging to consciousness, he can't even twitch a muscle, completely paralyzed. The mysterious assailant, eyes blazing with purple light, effortlessly lifts Bei Ming by the throat. He then turns to the monstrous entity, contemptuously calling it a mere worm, as the beast can only watch, helpless. Bei Ming's mind screams in agony, his entire body is broken, every muscle, every bone, leaving him completely immobile. The colossal white wolf-like entity, a true force of nature, boasts of its power, claiming it could already go head-to-head with a god. But then, a sudden, brutal wave of ice slams into Bei Ming, locking him down completely. Frozen and furious, he yells out, demanding answers, but the Ice Mage girl coolly explains she froze him because he's too weak, and she's just trying to save his life. With a steely gaze, she lays down the law, this isn't his battle, and he needs to stay out of it. But even with a battered face, Bei Ming fires back, declaring he's tougher than she thinks, and there's no way he's just going to watch from the sidelines. She pauses, then doubles down, telling him this is the only path to keep him alive. A fierce blue aura erupts around her as she charges up, ordering him to stay put or die, but he screams for her to wait, not to leave him behind. With an explosive clang and swoosh, Bei Ming absolutely obliterates the ice, bursting free from his frozen cage. A raw, purple energy explodes around him, as he makes his stand, vowing to protect her, even if he has to take on that monster by himself. Trapped in the monstrous entity's crushing purple energy, the Ice Mage girl shouts her defiance, claiming only she can take it down, while Bei Ming roars for her freedom. But the beast just laughs, challenging his very ability to fight a monster of its caliber. His eyes burning with resolve, Bei Ming doubles down, screaming for her to be set free, completely unfazed by the monster's arrogance. Even as she fights her restraints, the Ice Mage girl desperately warns Bei Ming against a foolish charge, convinced she's the only one who can win, but he's having none of it, he won't let her fight this battle solo. The monstrous entity, its gaze burning with pure malice, flexes its power, claiming the might of heavenly heaven itself. It sneers at Bei Ming, calling him a pathetic bug, utterly incapable of even laying a hand on its overwhelming strength. A hand crackling with raw purple energy reaches out, as it keeps up the taunts, daring to ask what a puny mortal like him could ever hope to do against its infinite might. A look of pure dread flashes across the Ice Mage girl's face, as she screams another warning to Bei Ming. He might have shattered her ice, but he's still no match for this monster, and a terrifying rumble shakes the very ground. But Bei Ming's determination is absolute, his eyes blazing with purple power as a massive aura explodes from him. He's not just ready, he's going to take this monster down. In a blur of motion, a devastating chain of crackling purple lightning swishes from his grasp. The devastating strike absolutely obliterates a nearby building, exploding in a cataclysmic burst of purple energy and flying debris. Langshan unleashes a devastating, red-hot punch, absolutely sending heavenly heaven flying. The force shatters his opponent's armor, pure red energy exploding on impact. Another brutal hit smashes heavenly heaven's face, his entire defense system just collapsing. Heavenly heaven stumbles back, absolutely stunned. How could a human hit this hard? His eyes blaze with rage, but he still screams his name, the strongest god, even after getting rocked. Langshan's eyes ignite with a terrifying red glow, purple energy exploding around him as he dismisses his foes as mere trash, ready to unleash pure destruction. With a monstrous surge of crackling power, he unleashes a colossal purple energy attack, a terrifying dragon's head roaring to life as he commands his enemy to open their eyes. Langshan's epic purple dragon attack connects, absolutely obliterating a new figure and sending them flying, their armor exploding into fragments. But then, a new player emerges. A mysterious figure with glowing purple eyes and a wicked smirk, dropping a cryptic, chilling line. The target of the attack, revealed to be boss Xingyun, is totally stunned, but also seems to recognize the newcomer. The Purple Eyes antagonist isn't done, dropping more bombshells about their past, and how they've been waiting for this showdown, with a creepy red snake chilling by their side. Then, his true power starts to manifest. Shadowy tendrils burst from his back as he transforms, making it clear that absolutely no one is going to stop him now. But Xingyun, with his eyes blazing red, isn't having any of it. He scoffs, totally rejecting the idea of being called a small fry. Too late. The Purple Eyes antagonist doesn't wait, launching a blinding golden energy blast and slamming it right into Xingyun. The blast goes nuclear. A massive purple energy explosion swallows Xingyun whole, leaving absolutely no question about the sheer power unleashed. Xingyun's eyes go wide with pure terror and agony, as he takes the full, brutal force of the attack head-on. The purple energy blast connects with brutal force, sending Xingyun flying. He's taking the full brunt of the attack. But the Purple Eyes antagonist just watches, a cold smirk on his face, his eyes locked on the destruction he's unleashed. Swallowed whole by the golden and purple energy, Xingyun is obliterated by the blast. The Purple Eyes antagonist's taunt rings out, "You can't fight back. You're just an external dimension creature." The sheer power of the blast is insane, black and red energy ripping through the air, showing just how devastating this attack truly is. The Purple Eyes antagonist makes a chilling decision, recalling their past but declaring the fight is over. "I was on the fence, but now I have to kill you." But then, from the fading energy, something monstrous takes shape. Xingyun is transforming. The Purple Eyes antagonist sees it. "You always turn into a monster when you're pushed." With glowing red eyes and fangs bared, the monstrous Xingyun roars, "Then you're my next meal." He lets out a chilling licks sound, his hunger for battle now undeniable. Then, with a terrifying swish, the beastly Xingyun unleashes a deafening roar, ready to tear into his opponent. The monstrous red energy rumbles, exploding outwards to completely engulf his foe. But the Purple Eyes antagonist isn't going down that easy. Purple tendrils swish out, his eyes glowing with defiance as he shouts that even if he calls him boss, it doesn't mean he's invincible. His purple energy slices through the crimson aura and smashes into Xingyun with a devastating impact. The purple eye's antagonist watches, a flicker of surprise crossing his face at the sheer power of his own blow. When suddenly, a colossal red explosion erupts from Xingyun, swallowing him whole again. Yet, the purple eye's antagonist stands firm within the inferno, his defiance unwavering as he vows to unleash his true power. With a primal surge, he unleashes a torrent of purple energy that rumbles and whooshes, completely engulfing Xingyun, as he throws down the gauntlet. Will you be able to stop me? Swallowed whole by the colossal purple energy blast, Xingyun screams in agony. While the purple eye's antagonist coldly states, I offered you a chance to surrender. The assault detonates in a cataclysmic burst of crackling purple power, obliterating everything in its path. But then, from the swirling chaos, Xingyun is sent crashing down, admitting his fatal mistake in judgment. A sudden, earth-shattering rumble rips through the air, instantly putting the ice mage on high alert. She recoils in sheer terror, as the monster's mana absolutely dwarfs her own, forcing a desperate scream from her lips. Even the formidable Xingyun, usually unshakable, is overwhelmed by the immense pressure, his own screams joining the chorus of terror as the monstrous entity dominates the scene. He's forced to confront the horrifying reality. This creature's power is on a whole other level, far beyond anything he's ever encountered. Then, with an earth-shattering roar, the monster unleashes an absolute cataclysm of energy, swallowing both the ice mage and Xingyun in a blinding maelstrom of pure destruction. The destructive force just keeps expanding, twisting into a dark, chaotic vortex that threatens to consume everything. The vortex intensifies, transforming into a crimson maw that devours absolutely everything in its path. The monstrous entity just explodes with power, unleashing a devastating wave of red and purple energy that rips through everything. It slams right into Xingyun, and he's screaming as the impact sends him flying, his body twisting in midair. And the ice mage? No chance. Her scream rips through the air as the same destructive energy just swallows her whole. Xingyun is fighting for his life against this insane pressure, his face twisted in pure agony as the entity's dark mana just crushes him. He can't even process this level of power. The ice mage is also getting absolutely wrecked, her ice magic just sputtering out against this non-stop, brutal attack. She's getting shoved back even harder, her body contorting under the sheer, crushing power. Xingyun's body is literally starting to crack under the pressure, his face a mask of pure agony as this thing's power just keeps ripping into him. The monstrous entity, its eyes burning with pure evil, just stares down at its struggling victims with total contempt, like they're not even worth its time. The ice mage can only stare back, her eyes bugging out in pure shock and terror at what it just said. Still reeling from the monstrous entity's raw power, the ice mage girl and Xingyun are now caught in a deadly trap as razor-sharp ice shards explode around them. Her body twisting in pure agony, she fights the freezing grip, a desperate cry tearing from her throat. The icy prison clamps down, and she lets out a piercing scream, begging for the relentless attack to stop. But her defenses are useless against the entity's raw power, and with a thunderous "kwangashich," her ice barrier explodes into a million pieces. The force hurls her backward, her body contorting as the monstrous entity's power keeps surging, a bone-chilling crack ripping through the air. Completely overwhelmed and helpless, she can only stare as the freezing energy swallows her whole. And just like that, the ice mage girl is completely encased, trapped inside a glowing ice sphere, a helpless prisoner of the entity's overwhelming might. With its opponent neutralized, the monstrous entity's power explodes again, making the very ground rumble and crack under its terrifying might. It stares down at its frozen captive, its fiery red eyes burning with terrifying intensity, a chilling question hanging heavy in the air. Still trapped and overwhelmed, the ice mage girl struggles, a faint blush of fear on her face as she hopes for a miracle. Her eyes wide with terror, she can only watch as the ice encases her further, her pleas for help echoing silently. Meanwhile, the monstrous entity, now taking on a more defined, ethereal form, radiates an ominous red glow, its white hair and fiery eyes a chilling spectacle of power. Completely immobilized, the ice mage girl can't move her body, trapped within her icy prison. From the entity's form, a crackling beam of pure energy descends with a terrifying force. Xingyun watches in shock as the power impacts him, a crimson glow erupting around his hand. He struggles, unable to move his body as the overwhelming energy courses through his arm, leaving him bewildered and helpless. The monstrous entity unleashes a devastating burst of dark, lightning-filled power, shaking the very foundations of the surroundings. Overwhelmed by the sheer force, Xingyun screams in agony as the crackling energy consumes him. The monstrous entity, a raging storm of crimson energy and raw lightning, absolutely devastates Xingyun, who's screaming his lungs out as the destructive force rips through him, all while the ice mage girl is still locked down in her icy cage. He's fighting for his life against this insane power, his mind absolutely blown by the sheer, crushing force of this unknown monster. The entity just watches, its fiery red eyes calculating the human's breaking point, thinking, can this guy even handle my power? It's gonna keep pushing, just to see what gives. But Xing Yun is totally breaking down, his body about to blow up from all that insane energy. The entity sees the red line, realizing it can't push him another inch and decides it's time to handle this personally. Then, with a massive power surge, it gets ready to drop its own devastating attack. Its wolf-like form goes full beast mode, blasting out an even crazier crimson aura, and it's screaming, "I'm gonna destroy everything." A massive, lightning-charged strike blasts from its claw, and with a deafening clang, it unleashes pure fury. Its fiery red eyes lock on, wondering about the human's chances, and it's like, yeah, I gotta do this myself. The monstrous entity's attack was relentless, a blinding, golden explosion ripping through the air with a thunderous bang, and a ground-shaking rumble that promised utter destruction. The explosive force only grew more intense, a brutal shank, tearing through the fabric of reality itself. Directly in the path of that devastating lightning, Xing Yun was utterly consumed by the crackling, destructive power. He fought against the crushing power, his face a mask of defiance, as the entity's chilling voice boomed, "You need to be taken care of, small fry." Suddenly, a terrifying monstrous entity awakens, its fiery red eyes blazing open as it roars, challenging anyone who dared to disturb its ancient slumber. Towering over the devastation, the beast glares down, repeating its furious challenge as Bei Ming watches, caught in its terrifying presence. Without a moment's hesitation, the monster unleashes a colossal purple energy blast, ripping through the earth in a massive explosion. Then, a barrage of purple projectiles rains down, each one exploding on impact, amplifying the destruction as its furious roar echoes again. With eyes burning like hellfire, the beast snarls, purple lightning erupting around it in a terrifying display of raw power. Then, with an earth-shattering crackle, it conjures a colossal sphere of divine thunder, ready to unleash pure devastation. With a chilling snarl, the entity condemns the immortal boys to death, vowing to annihilate them for their audacity. The monstrous entity's words hit Bei Ming like a physical blow, a chilling death sentence for anyone who dared to stand against its power. He clenches his jaw, a silent defiance burning within him, absolutely refusing to accept this fate. The entity's voice booms again, its fury absolutely off the charts, while Xiao Tian watches, a grim, intense look on his face. It's straight up mocking their weakness, promising their total annihilation, but Xiao Tian's gaze is locked on, absolutely unwavering, ready for the epic clash. Then, with a terrifying, earth-shattering roar, the monstrous entity unleashes a devastating torrent of divine thunder, absolutely obliterating the ground beneath them with cataclysmic force. As the dust finally settles, Bei Ming's expression hardens, a steely resolve taking over, his determination absolutely unwavering despite the insane power just unleashed. Xiao Tian, too, stands absolutely steadfast, his own fierce determination mirroring his companions. Bei Ming's voice rings out, a defiant challenge against the entity's arrogance, declaring he's taking back what's rightfully his. His eyes literally glow with fierce, unyielding resolve, absolutely ready to face the impossible head-on. Lin Ke's mind flashes back, a sudden rush of emotion as he remembers the critical turning point, the very next thing that went down. He was there, on a desolate, lightning-blasted wasteland, staring down a colossal, shadowy entity, feeling an insane surge of raw power, and an almost reckless excitement for the sheer strength he was about to face. A confident smirk played on his lips, a silent challenge accepted, as he genuinely couldn't wait for the showdown. The entire world was a shattered wasteland, a ruined city beneath an eternal storm, eclipsed by a menacing, glowing celestial ring. Then, with an earth-shattering thud, the attack slammed home. Lin Ke was instantly swallowed by a raging vortex of crimson energy, his body contorting under the sheer, crushing force, as he grimly acknowledged that this power was every bit as monstrous as he'd hoped, and feared. The brutal assault knocked him out cold, his face frozen in a mask of pure, agonizing defeat. One word, a raw, gut-wrenching admission of failure, tore from his lips, a desperate, whispered, "Sorry." Even as he lay defeated, a single, agonizing tear escaped his closed eye, a silent testament to the devastating impact. Suddenly, a powerful jolt hits Lin Ke, his eyes flying open as a mysterious voice screams at him to get up. Struggling to his feet, a shocking truth hits him, he's stuck in a mirrored world, and only a pocket watch can get him out. He looks around, utterly bewildered, shouting that he's back, but clearly confused by this strange new place. His gaze falls upon something glowing on the desolate ground, and he can't help but gasp at how drastically different this world is from his own. And there it is, a small, white, rabbit-like creature with fiery red eyes and a crescent moon symbol, radiating a soft glow, a bizarre and mystical sight in the desolate wasteland. Bei Ming is totally lost in his head, trying to figure out if this whole situation is a win or a massive fail. While a tiny white rabbit with glowing red eyes just stares, and he blurts out, "Where even are we?" He's still stuck on the same loop, internally debating, is this good or bad? The mystery of their location just hangs there, totally unanswered. The emotional roller coaster just keeps going, all while the rabbit watches on. Then, out of nowhere, the tiny rabbit drops a bombshell, happy. Sad. What are you even rambling about? You're just a human. How could you possibly get what a divine beast like me feels? Bei Ming's jaw drops, absolutely floored, his mind blown by the rabbit's revelation as he shouts, a divine beast? Still reeling from the impossible revelation, he crashes to the ground, hands up in a desperate plea, convinced he's somehow triggered a massive offense. The tiny divine beast, Xiao Tian, stares in absolute shock, its mind blown that its words were understood, now questioning if its deepest feelings are also exposed. Later, in a massive, unknown hall, Bei Ming sits at a sleek table, a deep sigh escaping him as he desperately tries to figure out where he even is. Suddenly, a deep rumble shakes the very air, snapping his attention to a shimmering, blue light that pulses like a brand new rift. As he tries to process the bizarre event, a calm figure steps forward, and Bei Ming, totally lost, apologizes for his confusion before demanding to know who this guy is. The man, the academic dean, coolly introduces himself, dropping the bombshell that Bei Ming is now inside the legendary Heavenly Academy, a revelation that instantly unleashes a wild, red energy explosion from him. Raw power explodes around him, a chaotic display of force that leaves him completely stunned. A blinding orange light bursts forth, cranking up the already wild energy to 11. Even Xiao Tian, the divine beast, starts to shimmer with an intense, ethereal glow, reacting to the insane power surge. Flashback to a chill moment. Some random student asks for a favor on the court, and he's like, no problem. But that was the past. Now, the divine beast is super serious, thinking back to when it devoured something else, and it's getting intense. He's totally shocked, demanding to know what the beast is talking about. Suddenly, a massive, violent red energy explodes from him, blasting outwards with insane power, and he's totally losing control. The beast isn't messing around, it charges up its own attack, ready to unleash a powerful blast. The beast's attack hits him, a massive crack echoing through the space. He's still getting blasted, yelling out to know why he's being attacked, while the energy battle rages on. With glowing eyes, the beast drops a bombshell, this insane power is from the Heavenly Academy. And just like that, a magnificent, glowing sword appears, its name finally revealed. Bei Ming can't believe his eyes. He's heard the legends, but this thing in front of him? It just looks like a plain, rusty sword. But a tiny, cat-like creature is quick to remind him, never underestimate heavenly weapons. Even the weakest can slice through mountains, and Bei Ming should know this by now. Still not convinced, he presses, seriously, is this sword actually powerful, or what? The creature rolls its eyes, declaring, duh. You humans just wouldn't get it. This isn't just any sword, back in the day, this heavenly weapon was the only thing that could take down demon beasts, a game-changer in the epic war of the gods. The little creature doubles down, its voice getting louder, I told you, you humans just don't get it. This is a heavenly weapon. But here's the kicker, even with all that hype and history, everyone who sees it still just calls it a rusty old sword. Bei Ming stares at the rusty blade, but Xiao Tian drops a bombshell, this isn't just any old sword. It's a legendary heavenly weapon, a relic from the epic war of the gods against demon beasts. Xiao Tian keeps going, revealing these weapons were literally forged from the god's essence, packing enough power to slice mountains in half, but their real look is totally hidden from humans. The little creature's words hang heavy, but the rusty sword just sits there, looking totally unimpressive, despite all the hype about its insane power. Bei Ming's mind races, trying to grasp the contradiction, while Xiao Tian doubles down, insisting the sword's rusty look is just a cover-up for its terrifying, hidden power. Then, a massive rumble shakes everything, and the rusty blade explodes with fiery energy, cracking the very ground beneath it. With an epic swoosh, the sword bursts into full flame, blazing with a blinding orange-red aura. Bei Ming's jaw drops, witnessing the insane transformation, a chilling dread creeping in as the weapon's true, terrifying power finally unleashes. The sword hits maximum glow, and bam! A new figure snatches the blazing blade. It's Xing Yun, absolutely hyped, shouting, you actually pulled it off, little brother. Bei Ming and Xiao Tian are both absolutely speechless, Xing Yun's sudden arrival and his shocking words just crank up the mystery surrounding this now activated heavenly weapon. The heavenly weapon just explodes with power in Xing Yun's hand, radiating an insane fiery glow and vibrating like crazy. His eyes lock on, totally fixated on the weapon's insane power spike. Then, with a lightning-fast move, he unleashes a massive swing, the glowing blade tearing a fiery arc through the air. The sheer power of that swing unleashes a huge, circular energy wave, blasting outwards from the blade. He keeps up the insane pace, leaving behind a blur of glowing energy trails. The weapon's fiery energy just keeps exploding with every single move. Then, just like that, the epic power show stops cold, the energy just vanishing around him. He stares down at the weapon, a totally bewildered look on his face as he tries to figure out what just happened. A faint, lingering glow still pulses from the blade, a silent testament to its power. Xing Yun unleashes a devastating swing from the heavenly weapon, sending a massive energy surge ripping through the air. Red energy explodes around his hand, and he ponders the ultimate cost, wondering if it's a matter of life or death. A crimson aura explodes from him, showcasing his raw, unbridled power. The heavenly weapon itself blazes with an insane, volatile light, fully charged and ready to unleash pure destruction. With a fierce, determined expression, he shouts his ultimate goal, to tear down immortality itself. Suddenly, his hand snatches Xiao Tian, demanding the rabbit and threatening to take them both out. The tiny rabbit, trapped in his grip, cries out in despair, apologizing for dragging everyone into his crazy dream of becoming a god. But just as all hope seems lost, Bei Ming's hand bursts forward, glowing with protective energy, promising to find a way to save Xiao Tian. A colossal boom erupts, as Xing Yun makes a shocking declaration: Xiao Tian will become a god. As the heavenly weapon's power went absolutely wild, Xiao Tian was gripped by pure terror, his voice cracking with regret. Could he really turn back time? Was there any hope left for them to team up? Then, a blinding rush of energy absolutely exploded from Xing Yun. Manifesting as a colossal, glowing, root-like structure that pulsed with raw, destructive force, ready to obliterate everything. Witnessing the terrifying display, Bei Ming screamed in alarm, his hand crackling with lightning as he desperately tried to intervene. But Xing Yun just shot him a glance, his eyes burning with cold power, utterly dismissing the attempt with a chilling question, asking what he could possibly do against this. He then declared his true, terrifying intention, stating that Xiao Tian's immortality was a mistake that absolutely had to be rectified. The root-like energy then absolutely exploded, consuming Xiao Tian entirely, who screamed in pure agony as his very being was torn apart. Xing Yun watched the suffering unfold, his glowing eyes fixed on the beast folk, confirming that this was indeed the terrifying power of the heavenly weapon. The weapon's full might manifested as a colossal, fiery blade, its destructive energy radiating outward, a testament to its terrifying, world-shattering capabilities. The heavenly weapon's roots absolutely shred Xiao Tian's form, his screams echoing as his immortality is brutally ripped from him, his body racked with pure agony. Xing Yun, with an icy gaze, proclaims the terrifying might of the heavenly weapon, revealing its ultimate power to obliterate even immortality. He continues his chilling declaration, stating that the self-proclaimed god will now be utterly reduced to a mere mortal. Xiao Tian's form twists in pure agony, his desperate cries of "No," and "I don't want to die," echoing as he fights against the inevitable descent into mortality. A colossal explosion of raw energy detonates, shaking the very foundations of reality. Bei Ming stares in absolute horror at the cataclysmic event, his face contorted with regret as he screams Xiao Tian's name, a desperate "I'm sorry," tearing from his throat. The weight of his guilt crushes him, his apology a desperate, broken whisper. Overwhelmed by the sheer power and his own despair, he collapses, his body giving out. Just before he crashes, a familiar figure snatches him from the air, a furious "you," ripping through the tension. The Ice Mage girl, her face flushed with worry, can only watch and wonder if he's finally passed out from the ordeal. But the one who bore the brunt of the ritual, eyes finally closed, lets out a massive "phew." A moment of pure, unadulterated relief. High above, the villainous Xing Yun, hand outstretched like a god, taunts his fallen enemy, roaring that his esteemed male was a fool to ever think he could run. The campus buzzes with student life. When Bei Ming, with Xiao Tian trailing, casually agrees to help some students with a ball, just trying to have a normal day. But Xiao Tian, with a furious glare, immediately calls him out on his past antics, demanding to know why he'd even think of kissing the goddess Yuer and then acting ungrateful. He flashes back to Lang Shen, blade drawn, about to end Bei Ming's whole existence, a disaster only Xiao Tian's quick thinking prevented. The raw memory makes Bei Ming's face contort in pure rage, snapping at Xiao Tian to shut up. But Xiao Tian just keeps on complaining, a bitter sigh escaping him, wondering why he's always stuck cleaning up Bei Ming's chaos, and even worse, why he actually enjoys it. Xiao Tian, in his epic beast form, lets out an exasperated sigh, his massive paw gently but firmly on a young Bei Ming's head. A quick, resigned pat to the boy's head, as if saying, "Here we go again, another mess for me to fix." Bei Ming's memories are a chaotic blur, a flash of him trying to kiss the goddess Yuer, then Bam, Lang Shen appears, furious. Back in the flashback, Xiao Tian's beast form unleashes a thunderous roar, engulfed in raw, crackling purple energy, a powerhouse defending against an unknown, terrifying force. The adult Bei Ming's eyes go wide with shock, the truth hitting him like a truck. He's finally connecting the dots, realizing Xiao Tian has always been his cleanup crew, and there's no way to deny it now. Xiao Tian's beast form gets right in his face, his voice dripping with knowing sarcasm. He's basically telling Bei Ming, "Dude, you're not fooling anyone with your secrets." But Bei Ming's mind goes even deeper, remembering a life before this one, when he was a literal god, ruling over unimaginable riches. A terrifying, fur-covered monstrosity with blazing red eyes erupts into view, a chaotic force of pure power. Suddenly, a majestic white wolf with fiery red eyes bursts onto the scene, its gaze piercing and full of raw intensity. This was the raw power of the gods, a force so immense even heavenly heaven couldn't fully contain it. Only those who truly grasped its essence could ever hope to wield such strength. Because true accomplishment wasn't just about hunting and attacking, it was about unleashing the Devourer's power itself. As these intense thoughts raced through his mind, Bei Ming can't help but wonder, there's always a loophole, right? He deeply considers the implications of this society and the immense, godlike power at play, fully recognizing its formidable, overwhelming strength. Even with the Devourer's help, he barely escaped that past confrontation, his body blazing with golden energy as he fought for his life. If this power could just be controlled, it would be an absolute game-changer. Bei Ming, with fierce determination, resolves to seize this chance and master its immense force. Xiao Tian, witnessing his master's unwavering resolve, can barely believe it. I can't believe it's come to this, he exclaims, then challenges, what? Give up. Back in the real world, a voice cuts through the noise, demanding his attention from the basketball court, asking for a simple assist. He's all, no problem, and then, out of nowhere, a girl with fiery red hair steps up, hitting him with the classic, are you the new transfer student? She drops the bomb, she's from the student council, here to guide him through the transfer chaos. Then, with a look that screams, I'm here to help, she asks if he's got any burning questions. His blunt nope earns him a dramatic sigh of exasperation from her. Behold the sprawling academy, a hub of knowledge and endless possibilities. Still not convinced, she presses him, are you absolutely sure? You're a transfer student, you should have questions. Cruising down the street, a flashy red sports car blazes by, just as a striking figure with white hair and burning red eyes steps into their path. Xing Yun, ever the charmer, greets the girl, then zeroes in on Bei Ming, dropping the classic, so, you're the new transfer student. A vibrant red-haired student steps up to Bei Ming, immediately demanding his name before dropping her own, Xiao Yu. But from the sidelines, Xing Yun is already watching, a sly grin playing on his lips. He thinks to himself, this is the kid, the one who saved everyone. A sharp-dressed student with black hair joins Xing Yun, playfully asking who's caught his eye, then boasts that the guy is the school's absolute best, practically untouchable under the dean's wing. Xiao Yu, catching snippets of their talk, whips around, a shocked look on her face, demanding to know if Xing Yun is just curious or if there's a deeper game afoot. With Bei Ming and Xiao Yu heading off, Xing Yun and his companion keep their eyes locked on the pair. Lin Ku immediately challenges Bei Ming, wanting to know why he's even there. Bei Ming, cool as ever, just says he's got documents for the academic dean, and Lin Ku's only reply is a skeptical. Catching up with Xiao Yu, she immediately presses him, so, what did you come here for? When he tells her about the dean, Xiao Yu's jaw practically drops. You're here for the academic dean. But he's not even here today. He's on a business trip. Suddenly, he just stops. Xiao Yu, confused, turns back to him, what's wrong? Trying to lighten the mood, she offers, I'm going to the library. Do you want to come with me? A subtle swish and a quiet DYP hint at something unseen. Forcing Xiao Yu to ask again, and he finally confesses, I think I saw something. A jarring crash rips through the air, instantly drawing the gaze of a stunning silver-haired girl down in shock, as a red-haired girl beside her flushes crimson with mortification. But she stands her ground, the silver-haired beauty radiating confidence, proclaiming herself the academic dean's assistant, no fool to be trifled with. Bei Ming watches, a flicker of surprise crossing his face, as the silver-haired girl locks eyes with the still flustered red-haired student. Xiao Yu, the red-haired student, is absolutely mortified, her mind racing with thoughts of the swimming pool and a baffling comparison to Bei Ming. Elsewhere, Bei Ming is caught in a crowd of students, his mind replaying the earlier encounter, mulling over his innocent politeness and her unforgettable, defiant statement. Then, a breathtaking sight. The silver-haired girl, now in a stunning black swimsuit, plunges into the pool, creating a magnificent splash as she cuts through the water. Underwater, she's a vision of pure elegance, her silver hair flowing like a dream as she swims with unmatched grace. Back out of the water, she towel dries her hair, her eyes meeting Xiao Yu's, confessing her unease at being observed like this. The male students around them erupt in comical nosebleeds, but Bei Ming, mortified, averts his gaze, as the silver-haired girl coolly repeats her earlier declaration, acknowledging their kindness, but firmly stating she's no fool. The vision shifts, and suddenly, a voice from the basketball court cuts through the air, asking for a quick assist with a stray ball. He agrees, but then his face twists in a sudden, intense shock, a raw exclamation tearing from his lips, what the hell? The vision jumps, now showcasing the majestic school building, a silent spotlight on the academic dean's assistant, the undisputed most beautiful girl in the entire school. Beneath the surface, her legs cut through the water with effortless grace, a mesmerizing swish-swish echoing the fluid motion. Suddenly, the serene swim is shattered by a menacing grrr from below, the water erupting in a violent, chaotic swirl. Out of the churning depths, Xiao Tian's beast form bursts forth, his blazing eyes screaming an urgent warning, alert. Be careful. Responding instantly, Bei Ming stands his ground, a colossal, shadowy entity erupting behind him as Xiao Tian takes his battle-ready perch, and he roars, "Okay." Just as quickly, the scene snaps back to a quieter moment, Bei Ming's gaze fixed on the ice mage girl as she gracefully emerges from the pool, a soft mmph escaping her lips as she hits the deck. She turns, her eyes locking onto his. The academic dean can't help but stare as his assistant, Mu Ru Shui, makes a stunning entrance from the pool, her beauty absolutely captivating. Blushing slightly, he quickly averts his eyes, clearly flustered by her presence. But he's not the only one captivated. Bei Ming, watching from a distance, is absolutely mesmerized by her beauty. Then, a sudden, jarring realization slams into him, making him pause and wonder if he's seen her before. His mind explodes with a forgotten memory, a vivid flashback to Mu Ru Shui, the academic dean's assistant, who was his savior in a desperate, dark moment. And in that powerful memory, she stands with him, Xiao Tian at her side, offering him a chance to join them, waiting at the school gate.